This week, things have been a little quiet, but you know what that means. More ports landing on new systems, news of games that didn't make the cut, and interesting games that are about to make their debut. In other words, it's another week in gaming. Have your favorite candy at the ready and join us for the show where every gamer has a voice.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet, and welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. It is Orange Lounge Radio, live here with episode number 549 for April 20th, 2014. That's right. Let me just get it out of the way now. Happy 420! And happy Easter, of course, if that's what you're into. And if you don't celebrate either of those things, then I hope you're having a fine Sunday.
Happy fucking holiday.
Hello, Darks.
Because it's
Sakura.
bunnies and shagging and eggs.
What
Fertility holiday.
What are they calling it in Animal Crossing? You were just playing
Bunny Day.
Bunny Day. Happy Bunny
It's
Day.
annoying in Animal Crossing. It's called the day after Jamie's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little bit food hungover. Mm-hmm. And I feel sick because I've eaten nothing but crap.
Well, happy birthday to you, by the way.
Thank you. I'm old.
No, you're not.
Please.
It's another year of awesome. Come on.
Yeah, I know I'm vintage.
Look, we've been doing...
Better vintage wine than sour grapes.
Look, we've been doing OLR for when we get to June. That's going to be our 12th birthday. So we've been doing this show for 12 years. So y'all do the math. Obviously, we are not in our 20s anymore doing this show, you know, so... there's that expectation we're going to be a little bit older.
I'm going to do an OLR when I'm 70.
We very well might be. We'll see. Not here tonight, unfortunately. Techmaster Loki. Techmaster Loki does have the night off because it is Easter and he has some family obligations this evening. But joining us in studio, it's a pleasure always to have this guy on the show. He's a big supporter of not just OLR, but a lot of the things at VogNetwork.com, and just a good guy to have here on the show. Say hello, everybody, to Flacco Jones. He's here tonight.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Flacco?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
I just realized I had to turn my mic on. It was off. That would have been embarrassing.
That happens. Loki likes to do the off and on thing. He has to do the click, click, click sometimes. It happens. So what's new? How you been?
I've been pretty good. I had a really good Easter.
Did you?
I celebrated by eating 4 hot dogs, a hamburger, a pile of potato salad. I starved myself for breakfast, though, so I could just throw down as much food as possible. They actually ran out of hot dogs. I think I could have handled a dozen. I was going for a dozen, but it didn't work out.
I love that even though Loki's not here, you still can bring it to food one way or another.
I know. And now we have scones.
I brought blackcurrant scones.
This is good. And tomorrow, you know what the best thing about Easter is? I don't care if you celebrate Easter or not. We can all celebrate in 4/21 tomorrow, which is going to be the day that all the candy is like 75% off. That's universal, people.
I can't eat any of it.
See, last year that was 420, and that's appropriate.
Yes, much better.
Because I have decided that now that my birthday is over and I'm feeling old and sore from walking all over San Francisco yesterday, that I'm going to wake up early tomorrow and do yoga and go to the gym.
You're gonna start off this new year of your life in all the right ways?
Well, yeah. Well, I was doing that before, but then work was kicking my butt. So now that I'm used to my work schedule and got my vitamins all sorted out and starting to feel okay again, I'm going back to the gym.
There you go.
I submitted the measurements for my cosplays for GamerX.
Oh, you are going to be doing the cosplays.
Which is another motivation.
Nice. Did you make it a couple inches less so that way you'd be like, I
waited until I was super bloated. Because my costumes have to be loose anyway because they're Homestuck costumes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Go into our chat room because we do tape live every Sunday night at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right after the Bobby Blackwolf Show at the Voice of Geeks Network, VogNetwork.com. We have some comments in our chat room here. Let's see. Kaijudo starting us off tonight saying OLR becomes OLD. Oh, that's like a sitcom in the works or something. And I'm just sitting here going, becomes...
Just wait. The older we get, the older you're getting too.
That's right. How long have you been listening? Also, let's see. Black Wolf, Bobby Black Wolf, not only says congrats on surviving another year, Jamie, but he also says Flacco is there. Did you buy a UPS yet? Now, for those that don't catch the joke, the last time Flacco was on the show, actually it was 2 times ago, because I think the last time you were here, everything was fine. But 2 times ago, the power went out mid-show, and that was like a lost episode because of it.
Yes, so. It's a legendary episode now. That's how I like to look at it.
Yeah, it is. You were on a deleted scene,
yes.
Like me on RuPaul's Drag Race. I was on a deleted scene.
It was so good. It was so much better than the next time I was on.
Wait a minute.
I was better. I mean, I was better the first time.
Oh,
My stories didn't come back as good the second time.
Oh, you're always.
I was trying to recall. It was going so well.
All right. Well, I do have some kickoff topics I want to get into, but since Dark Soccer brought up her birthday, I figured now was a good time to do a present.
Ooh.
Y'all ready for a present?
I like presents.
Okay, now I don't rap. So I just put it here in this little
You
thing.
could say
So I'm going to just open it for Dark Soccer right now.
Sing for me.
Flacco, you
If
need
you
to do
don't rap,
commentary because I got to put the mic down.
Rob, if you don't
Rob
rap,
is putting the
sing.
mic down, and now he's gonna unzip Dark Soccer's present. I don't know how else to put it.
Which is at
It's-
crotch level.
It is in a box.
Okay.
Here it is. He's presenting it. This sounds really bad. And she squealed. I'm sure you heard that. What is that?
Bravely Default. I'm going to play the shit out of this because now I'm done with
Congratulations.
Animal Crossing.
There it is. That's what she said. I was all intent. I was going to go to the store and get her that Disney game. But then last week she said, I'd rather have Bravely Default. And I'm like, all right. Bravely Default is a great game. So there you go. So, and I could see Dark Soccer as being somebody that's really going to get into the story and the characters and stuff because she likes to, get into games that have story. So
See, it's wrapped, Rob. She's unwrapping it right now.
I'm unshrink wrapping it right now.
Rob shrink wrapped it all himself.
shush.
With love.
And Dan ordered me my present, so I have my present coming from Dan. Mm-hmm. And then I bought myself a whole bunch of presents
Nice.
because I was at Sakura Matsuri. I got myself a bunch of art supplies.
Nobody got you that though, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Dan got me an iPhone 5S
Oh, sweet.
because it's about time.
Right.
And I'm not going to reveal where my husband is employed at either in case people are listening and because so I'm going to say that Dan works at the land of what should I say? He works at the land of reps and service. So Loras.
Loras. Okay.
Dan works at Loras and I work at Locat.
Okay, you got it. All right.
All Homestuck references, by the way.
Going over to the chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Eric RPG says that Disney game is meh anyway. I don't know. I thought Dark Soccer might have got a kick out of it because Animal Crossing meets Disney. But you know what? Bravely Default's awesome too. So.
I want to play the Tomodachi game.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not out till June. So you'll have to wait for Christmas or something.
Oh man,
Hanukkah.
I street passed so many freaking people at Sakura Matsuri.
Tell us about your trip. You went over to because a lot of nerds in the Bay Area go to this. You went to Sakura Matsuri yesterday in San Francisco, right?
Yep, the Cherry Blossom Festival. And if
how was
people want to see some of my pictures, if you go to kurotsubasa.tumblr.com, I have some pictures I took, including a panoramic of the Peace Pagoda Plaza over at Japantown or Nihonmachi. At any rate, there was some cosplay. There was some good cosplay that I found a really good Mikasa from Shingeki no Kyojin. I found a few others, and then I found like some honestly kind of half-assed cosplay. Like it was an afterthought. I'm not saying anything about the cosplayers. If you don't want to cosplay all the way, that's fine. But don't think you're hot shit if your costume's not all the way put together. I ran into some really nice people just wandering around, talked to a few people, and then I found more Homestucks. Okay, because it was my birthday, I decided to wear my Aradia shirt, which is basically big red Aries on a black shirt. As I was walking down the hall, I found a person wearing the Terezi shirt, which is a Libra, and we're like, oh, one of us. And, then I ran into someone wearing a Hero of Space shirt at Daiso. And then she's like, yeah, I found a couple other people too, so we have some representation, which we are an invasive species, but
I have no idea what any of that means, but that's cool.
But there's people listening who'll know what it means.
Did you get to go to that arcade that they have in the little...
It was busy. I didn't want to go.
I bet.
And the whole place was just like all over. But we went to where they were doing the food booth, and I was very disappointed because I wanted to have takoyaki, because that's like my big thing when I go to Sakura Matsuri is I have to have takoyaki. And they made it. It wasn't takoyaki. It was like beef inside it instead of octopus. So I was like, well, screw that. So I had unagiron, and it was delicious. And we we
Did you
wandered
get a
around.
crepe? Because they have some great crepes there too.
Great place. Sophie's Crepes was like way busy.
Oh, I
I
bet.
just didn't bother. But I did buy some art supplies because there's certain ones that I can't get locally. I have to go to Kinokuniya. And what else did we do? Because, I actually went and bought, because, I mean, now that I'm older, I was always interested in Japanese culture just from having been a Japanese major. And I sort of grew out of my whole anime fangirlness. I'm not, and I use grow out of in quotey fingers just because I'm not as interested in a lot of stuff because it's geared toward teenagers. It's not really my thing, except I totally love Kill la Kill right now. Totally awesome. But I really have been trying to focus more on my art. So this time I went around and looked at different types of papers and looked at textiles, and I bought myself, it's a furoshiki, which is like a wrapping cloth, but I got one with cats on it. And I'm going to hang it in my cube. It was really cute. And I basically, my point around this time was just to find different things that I thought would stimulate me. Not in that way. As an artist.
It's that kind of birthday, huh?
As a artist. Mm-hmm. And so that was really, we watched some dances. We watched, there was a big Taigo presentation, which was pretty awesome.
Nice.
And, and then I got stuff for my desk and,
There you go. Stuff and things. Well, it sounds like you had a good day.
and went to see my friend Tamara over on Clement Street. She was working for a clothing designer.
Nice.
So got to really check out some home done textiles and everything.
Well, happy birthday once again from all of us here at OLR to
Thank you.
And I hope you get more presents before the week's up because some birthdays tend to go all week, so you never know what might happen. So, all right, if the OLR listeners want to send you a taco or something, could they? Because I have had people come to me saying, "How can I send Jamie a taco? I want to make Jamie happy for her birthday. How can I send her a taco?" So
I'll tell you what, if you want to make me happy, this is what you can do. You can send me money. No, no, I'm kidding. If you want to make me happy,
send her a money taco.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to find a local animal rescue and give them some cat food, or adopt a cat, and send me a picture of the cat that you adopted.
Aw.
That's what I want you to do for my birthday, is to adopt a cat.
There you go.
Or to at least donate food to
Because some people are allergic to cats, so
animal rescues because they need it. The people who foster the cats need food, and it keeps from killing an animal that's only fault is that it just was homeless.
Oh. Well, you know what? That is one thing better than a taco is cats.
Yeah,
There you go.
Sounds wrong, Rob.
I didn't mean to eat the cat. Let the cat eat the taco.
I just didn't think you were into pussy. But anyway, on a serious note,
I can always make an exception, Dark Sakura.
I adopted Midna.
Aw.
And I would really like to see, more people give, especially older cats, give older cats a chance.
That's great.
So.
All right. Well, taking it back to video games a little bit, since we are a video game podcast, I wanted to talk here a little bit on our kickoff topic about some things going on. And I wanted to talk to Flacco a little bit, too, because Flacco, you've still been playing quite a few games since the last time we talked to you. And I know you're mostly a gamer on the Sony platforms, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I recently got a PS4 a couple months ago, and I really enjoy it. I love the games you get with PlayStation Plus. But, and I guess, I don't know if you know this, or not a lot of my friends might know this, but I bought my wife a Wii U for her birthday.
I do, because you were telling me to add her on the Wii U thing.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I still haven't done it because you'll see my Wii U still not hooked up from the move. So,
But I found a
yours,
really...
then.
if you really want to, I guess you could.
I do really want to because we want to play Wind Waker HD.
That's exactly the reason I got it, though, because
I don't
Wind
have
Waker...
that, but sure. If you want to
You can
rent it or
just
something.
get it yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's worth it.
Yeah.
But that's the game. It's my wife's favorite game ever is Wind Waker.
Oh, okay.
And I found a really good deal on the Wind Waker HD bundle. And I got it. And it was like an amazing deal. It was used, but
Oh, so you
amazing.
got
Works great.
the little gamepad that has the Triforce on it
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, oh,
And
rad.
she loves it. My wife loves it. She went crazy for it. So she's been playing that pretty much nonstop, and I've been helping her when she gets stuck, and
Aw.
it's been really fun. And
adorable.
the kids love it too. Like my son just gets a kick. We never Link does like the different melodies, with the Wind Waker. He does a little conducting or whatever. My son hums along with it, and it's really awesome. So
That is so precious, hearing how the whole family gets involved in gaming. Oh, it's so adorable. I just want to hug you all. Like, that's such a good news story, right? So why does Nintendo keep flopping in the eyes of the gamer? I mean, obviously, sales are sales. They're not selling as many as the competitors. That's just, the way it is. But why is Wii U flopping when you have such positive things to say about it, you think?
Because there's really not that much to play on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what she's going to do when she's done with Wind Waker.
Well, Mario Kart 8 will be out, maybe.
She's not a big Mario Kart fan. I want to play it, though, so we might rent it first and see if we both like it. I play more on the PlayStation, so... And I have a Vita too. She got me a Vita for Christmas, so I had to try to top that and get her a Wii U for her birthday. And I got the PS4 just out of the blue. I thought it was a family thing. She's like, "Oh no, that's your system. I don't want to play that." I was like, "Oh, well, now I feel really bad. Well, let me get you a Wii U." So
at least you guys can watch the PlayStation Live together and enjoy the people showing their titties and their dongs.
We did that. We didn't see any of the racy stuff. I mean, somewhat racy stuff, but nothing. No nudity. We didn't see the night we were just perusing that. We had friends over, of course. So what do? You turn on Playroom,
right?
Or PlayStation Live, look at the Playroom streams and see how ridiculous it is. So, but yeah, nothing too crazy. Just a lot of really poor living room setups, I would say. Really depressing. Like, oh, it's so dirty in your living room. Clean up your house.
That's one big reason I don't do the play. When you do the streams on like Final Fantasy 14, which I have streamed on Twitch, your head's in a little box. That you can't see anything but my little head in a box. That's nice. That's enough.
That's all we need to see.
That's all you need.
But Playroom, it's and those poor robots. I feel bad for those poor robots. They had to sit there and look at all that terrible debauchery going on, and they look so shocked sometimes.
What were you going to say, Dark Sakura?
Nothing.
Feel bad for the robots.
What have you been playing on your console, the PS4?
On the PS4, I've been playing mostly Don't Starve, and again for the kids, Lego Marvel Superheroes. Okay. But yeah, Don't Starve, I really got into. It's one of the reasons I really wanted the PS4. I went to Extrafor's house, and he has a PS4, and that had just come out, and he's like, "It's okay." And
but you could have bought that for like $7 on Steam.
Well, I'm glad I didn't because my PC's broken now. So. Like all the other games I bought on Steam, I can't play it now.
Touche.
But no, I love it. I mean, I like controllers better anyway. So I've really enjoyed that game. I've put a lot of time into it. I'm not very good at it, but I finally got to adventure mode. Which to get to adventure mode in Don't Starve, you have to play the regular survival mode, and then you have to find a door randomly as you're surviving and kind of exploring. So I just made it my mission to just explore. I just go out and try to find this stupid door that I could never find because I'd always die before I found it.
Is that the one that goes into the caves?
No, that's if you go into if you dig up a grave, I think you can go, or you can spelunk, you can go down there. Yeah. I've only done a little bit of that, but no, it's a giant door. It looks like a door to hell. And it's like, do you want to go inside? And when you do, Max, the villain, I guess, of the game, shows up and he's like, if you can survive 5 worlds, you can find my door and find me. That's how you beat it, I guess.
Oh.
So,
spoilers! I had no idea.
There's like a story mode in there,
okay.
but unfortunately, to get in there, you have to find it first in the regular. But you kind of have to make it your mission to find the door. What's cool is once you find the door, whenever you die doing the 5 doors thing, you don't go back to nothing. You go back to where you first found the door. Oh. So that now is my save file for adventure mode, and then if I ever want to play the game survival style, I'll just create another new game, and I just do that. So
okay,
it's been really fun.
I learned something about Don't Starve.
There's a hidden story mode, I guess. So
that's awesome. And being PlayStation Plus, I'm sure you're snatching up all those free games like Mercenary Kings this month?
Yeah, I had trouble playing Mercenary Kings, so I haven't really got into that yet. It's like press down to pick something up. I pressed down, I couldn't pick it up. I don't know if it's because I was playing on the Vita.
Because your inventory's full.
Is that why?
Yeah, that's what I learned first. You can only hold like 1 or 2 things in the beginning.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's my problem. I can't get past the very. It's like put some C4 in this store.
You shared something with me. I shared something with you. There we go.
I was like, well, this game I can't play. I thought it was a bug. Like I'm playing on the Vita. I do a lot of remote play on my Vita, and so I was like, well, maybe it's some Vita bug where it's not registering me pressing down. Like I'm like squatting and like I'm not putting this C4 down like it says I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
So or picking it up. I don't know. It's
you have to use the C4 you already have, and then you can pick up the other one.
I see. Yeah. Well, there you go. So I'm stuck on that. But yeah, we played Outlast. That was pretty awesome. We're halfway through. We stopped because we had some friends over, and we're like, let's play through this. And we got through halfway, and it's like, well, we have to go home. Like, oh, you don't want to stay up till 2 a.m? But so yeah, we didn't finish that. But I really like that game so far too. And again, I know it's a PC game, but I don't really have a workable PC, so I've enjoyed playing on the PS4.
Besides just talking about what you've been playing on Sony recently, I wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk about this too, because I'm sure some of our chatters want to bring this up as well. But speaking of all the Sony stuff going on, I'm sure you heard about that insane sale they're having this weekend, where they're giving Steam a little competition with this whole deep discounting. 99 cents for what, 30 games? I think they have on sale for 99
30
cents.
or 34, something like that. 34, 35.
And obviously you're not going to get anything new, and it's not just PS Plus. That was the other surprising thing. I thought for sure it was going to be PlayStation Plus only, but it's not. It's for everybody.
Should be 50 cents for PS Plus. I'm greedy.
But I'm just really surprised. Now, you've got some stuff that's like really old. You got some classics in there like Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot, but like those are games I really remember from PS1. So I was like, all right, for 99 cents, shit, I'll pick it up again so I can play it on the Vita. Why not, right? But then there's some stuff that's only a couple years old, like Telltale has quite a few things, like the Jurassic Park game, Back to the Future, and it's not just like one episode for 99 cents. It's all 4 or 5 episodes for 99 cents. That's a really good deal. So if you are a PlayStation owner, I think the sale's only good through Monday at 7 a.m. So if you're listening live, go get them. If you're listening on the podcast, sorry you missed it because it's over now.
I still haven't downloaded one of them, but I was really considering Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. That's the main one.
Well, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, actually.
All right.
I did buy it.
Oh, I can't wait.
So you haven't taken advantage of that?
I haven't taken advantage of it because, like you said, mostly. Well, the other problem is I have a huge backlog on my PS3, and my PS3 is in the bedroom now. It got moved once the Wii U joined the.
You had to play the same game I did. Where it's like, who ultimately gets to stay on the TV
and
stand?
It could have stayed out in the living room, but it's like it'd be nice to have a thing in the bedroom. We can finally watch Netflix and stuff in the bedroom. So we moved it back there, and I still have to play the BioShock Infinite DLC. I had to play the Last of Us DLC. Christopher let me borrow his game so I could do that. I still have South Park to play, and I have the PlayStation 3, the PS Plus games.
Yeah,
I really liked Remember Me. I'm like halfway through that. There's too much to play. It is like a Steam thing now. And it's another reason I'm not too sad my computer broke, because I'm like, well, I've got enough to play already, so I guess I can just play my console stuff.
Who needs Microsoft Word? I've got video games to play.
There you go.
Who needs that? I don't need an internet.
I have a 10-year-old computer I can do Microsoft Word with, but I can't game on it.
Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. SSJ100 Matt says, I actually didn't know about this sale until just now. BRB buying all the things. We helped one person out. Hooray. I feel a lot better here at OLR. Let's see. Gamer Girl says Plants vs. Zombies. I'm thinking that's something she picked up.
That looks like a good one. But again, I meant to check. Is that on the Vita or is that just on the... I don't think that's on the Vita. I think that's just the PS3.
I think that's only PS3. I want to say the Vita one was a Plus game sometime ago.
It was, but it was before I got the subscription, sadly. Because I actually... Well, I'll get in that later, but if you do Gaming Week stuff, I don't know.
That's fine. Let's see. Dungeon Buster says Retro City Rampage is 99 cents, and Steam marked it down to the same price. So, a little comment. And that's a good one if you haven't checked that out. Extifer, your brother-in-law, co-star of Horde House, Wednesday nights on the network, loves that game. Talks a lot about that. No, wait, I'm getting mixed up with Hotline Miami.
Oh, are you?
Never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I've heard good things about Retro City Rampage, but yeah, I know he loves Hotline Miami.
No, it's Hotline Miami I was thinking of. Never mind.
Well, that was already free anyway.
We'll make it up and say Extifer likes Retro City Rampage,
I bet
too.
he would if he played it.
Loki likes Retro City Rampage. Nice.
I'm about to buy it.
And Tokyo Jungle is the other one that's tempting me. But again, that sounds like a huge time sink, and I'm like, I paid
$15 for that stupid game. No, actually, Tokyo Jungle, here's the thing about that. It plays a lot like an arcade game to me, and if you play it in little chunks, like every time you play and die within 5 minutes, you're still investing in your save that you can use to buy more animals or progress in the story a little more later on. Like, you don't get very far each time until you kind of build. It's one of those games. You build on each death. It's a lot like, what the hell's that game where you're in the castle? It's like Castlevania. God damn it. Slipped my mind. I used to play this game a lot. Jason's a big fan of it. I know
Castle
too.
Crashers?
No.
I don't know. I've never played that.
No, it's the one where you play the descendants of all the characters.
Magica?
Why is it?
No.
No idea.
Somebody will yell it out in chat in 2 seconds here, then I'll feel stupid.
Oh, Rob.
Why can't I remember the name of the damn game?
Because you're old.
And the castle shuffles each time you play. Shut up. You're the one that had a birthday.
I don't know why I don't know this. Shuffle Castlevania.
No. Thank you, Rogue Legacy.
Oh, okay.
Alan just popped in. Alan saving me again. Yes, it was Rogue Legacy. Thank you, Alan. And Jason just yelled it out in chat, too. Like that. I don't even remember why I was bringing that game up now. All right. Let's talk about
Tokyo Jungle, that's why.
That's why. Yeah, Tokyo Jungle's a great for 99 cents. Heck yeah. If you got to go. If you're listening to this live, you got to go get it. Just it's 99 cents. Like
you know, the other cool thing about Tokyo Jungle is it is one of the very few PS3 games that works with Vita Remote Play.
That's right.
The very, very few. And they look ugly. I played Peggle. I have Peggle. Peggle Knights on PS3. It plays with Vita Remote Play, and it looks terrible. Nothing like what the PS4 games look like. But,
well, PSP had Remote Play a little bit too. But
yeah, I never had one of those.
There was so few... Like, it worked with the minis.
And the PS1 games.
And the PS1 games. Yeah. And you could do some of the video streaming and that stuff, too. That all existed on the PSP. But it was just one of those features nobody really talked about. But I remember going, like, why isn't Sony doing more with this? Because this technology is awesome.
Well, even the PS3, they didn't do that much. With the PS3 and the Vita. Maybe it's because they're working on the PS4. But
yeah,
and the other thing what I wanted to tell you, you got Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, but I believe those don't work on the Vita Remote Play.
What?
I know.
Oh, crap. That was a big
Or not even Remote Play. I just mean, like, I guess crossplay, whatever you call it, like it work on both platforms. Those are some of the few titles that aren't compatible for some reason.
It's part of the reason.
I know that's one of the reasons I wanted to get them, and I saw in the comments everybody's like, "Oh, why won't you make this work on Vita?" But maybe they will eventually. Oh well, hopefully.
At least it was only $2.
I know. I thought the same thing. Like, oh, that'd be great to play on my Vita, and then I read all the people in the comments saying it would be nice if these actually worked on Vita, but it's not on the compatibility list.
I'm hoping maybe with all that PlayStation Now stuff in the future, too, that putting those games in my library when PlayStation Now is out will let me... I'm hoping. I mean, they haven't really said how that's all going to work yet, but I'm hoping that maybe flagging those games as purchased will enable it in PlayStation Now down the road,
I would think if you got it digitally, they should do that, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You really don't. I mean, then there's this whole debacle with The Last of Us on PlayStation 4 when it just was out on... But we'll talk about that later in the show. Let's get into our gaming weeks and talk about our frame of reference, the types of stuff that we have been playing this week. Dark Sakura, what have you been up to on your birthday week?
Animal Crossing. I got a game called Kami. Which is like an origami-based puzzle game. It's kind of neat. Played some Mass Effect because I've got my mods working again. And my Shepherd looks awesome.
I can't wait to play Mass Effect 3 on my new PC. Did I talk about that on this show yet? I talked about it on Bobby's show, but not here. Alan built me a new PC yesterday, so happy me.
They make dude mods.
Oh, yeah?
There's some good ones out there, too.
Nice.
There's also someone did a version that you can use Caden's hair.
Okay.
And someone made a front curl mohawk that's actually kind of cool looking.
Did you see pics of the cosplay from PAX East with the... Did we talk about this this week?
Yes, we did.
Okay, sorry.
And he twerked.
Yes. This is more of those pictures are coming out.
What's the name of my other Tumblr?
Mass Effecting. I couldn't remember if we talked about it on the show. Yeah, I guess the chat room is right. I'm having Alzheimer's in my old age. That's what Raginator says. Thanks.
Eat more blueberries.
I guess. Well, that scone had blueberries in it, right?
No, that was us. Those were black currants.
God. I think I need more ginkgo biloba.
And the thing's right there. It says currant.
I totally thought they were blueberries, too. Oh, thank God. It's not just me.
I was like, those are blueberries, right?
Those are currants.
They're really good, though.
They're good.
Currants are better than blueberries, in my opinion. And I'm always right.
Are they currently better than blueberries?
But I was gonna play some I think I did play a little Final Fantasy 14 this week, or I might have. But I'm planning on assuming that I can get my shift trade on Tuesday, then I will be playing a good bit of that while I'm trying to stay awake. If not, then whatever. But I need people to run with me and help me level some more. Let me tag along.
We'll see.
I want to do Brave Flop again.
Wait until you get that one on hard mode. It's hilarious because the whole dungeon is fighting over cheese.
I want someone to run me through Brave Flop tonight.
There you go. Well, we'll see. Maybe I can live stream now because that's something I can actually do on the new PC.
Everyone can see how cute I am.
We already know.
I know. Well, my character's extra cute. And her feline adorableness.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, if that's it for your gaming week, I'll go over to Flacco.
Bitch, I wasn't done. I'm kidding.
Oh. Excuse me, princess.
Go on.
No, I'm done.
All right, Flacco, how was your gaming week?
I had a pretty good gaming week because I had most of the week off of work. So I played a lot of Vita games, and I played Lego Marvel Superheroes on PS4 because my kids really like that. And it's funny because my kids like to either stand in front of the TV Or if I'm playing on Vita, they like lean their heads in front of the Vita, to try to see everything. So I actually did the remote play, and when you do it on the Vita, it plays on both at once. So if they're standing in front of the TV, I just look down on the Vita. If they're putting their head in front of the Vita, I just look up at the TV, and it worked great. So they love that game. It's pretty fun. I've never played a Lego game before, and I'd always kind of badmouth them because it's just kids games, whatever. But it's actually really fun, and there's a lot of cool like inside jokes. There's a part where you're like tumbling through, portal to Asgard. I'm not much of a Marvel guy either, sorry. But you're going through some kind of portal to Asgard, and as you're like tumbling through, a TARDIS like flies by the other way, like a little Lego TARDIS. It was really cute and funny. So yeah, I played that. I finally beat Little Big Planet Vita after.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. They did a really good job. I had my doubts because it's not Media Molecule that did it, but they actually did probably one of the better story modes they've ever had in a Little Big Planet game.
I like the mechanic of the pushing the bricks by using the rear touchpad.
Yeah.
And the front touchpad. That was kind of a neat little thing.
Yeah, that was a fun level. And actually, my son played that one with me, and I had him like touch the bricks, at least on the front. He got pretty good at the back touch, too. He realized when he touched it, at least on the Vita... on the Little Big Planet Vita, as opposed to other games that have back touch, sometimes it gives you a little indicator, like a cursor where your finger is. And so he figured that out, and so he was able to really use that to hit the blocks for me or kill enemies. Or I think there's a level where you had to guide missiles. He did that for me too. It was really fun. It was like father-son playtime, and we were both sick that week.
Again, this whole bonding over
I know,
video
it's
games
fun.
thing. You guys are the cutest.
He loves video games. He's not great at the control stuff, but it's in the age of like iPads and all that stuff, he loves touch stuff. So the Vita stuff he's really been able to get into more than the PS3, because the PS3 he has a hard time with the controls. But touch controls are so intuitive. It's like, I can just put this here and I realize my finger's moving around, and yeah, he does a great job with that. So yeah, I played some Gravity Rush on Vita. I really love that game. Almost done with that, I think. And lots of Wind Waker with my wife playing.
Let's see. Tiger Claw in chat talking about the Lego thing you're saying. Tiger Claw says, maybe that's a sign that we can expect Lego Doctor Who. And Kaijuda says, Lego, stay away from Doctor Who. Dark Tetsuya says, I kind of want the Lego movie game. I don't know.
I heard that one wasn't so good, though. They usually get good reviews, but I heard that one didn't get very good reviews because I feel like it's that classic case of a movie marketing game. It had to come out as the movie release date, and I've heard it's kind of unfinished. You know what I mean?
Jamie just gasped. Are you okay?
Because today is also George Takei's birthday.
Oh, it is?
Oh, wow.
So happy birthday to my...
oh, my.
to the man I want to adopt me.
Happy birthday. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the whole Lego and Doctor Who thing. It just makes me think, like, do you want me to make every nerd out there cringe right now? Watch, okay? Watch. So Lego does a Doctor Who video game, and they let Moffat write it. Oh. Sorry. Look, art, as this show is art, is to elicit a reaction, and I just gave a reaction.
I just reacted too.
Jamie showed me her middle finger. That was the reaction. All right.
I did play one PS3 game this week, and that was The Cave, because that's another game on my backlog that I haven't finished yet, and I think I'm almost done with that one.
Ew.
And
hey,
Jamie says, "Ew."
don't
She
say
hates
no,
The
no,
Cave.
No.
Cave is fun.
Did you know the man who invented the Frisbee was cremated after he died and made into a Frisbee?
No,
You're so weird. Don't bring that stuff up on the show.
it's not appropriate unless he's made into Legos.
Thank you, Rob. Plastic, I don't know.
Yeah, it works. It's a toy.
All right.
And The Cave is, I believe, one of the games included in the recent Humble Bundle. I don't know if it's current, but it's recent.
I think you're right. I
It's
know I
for
got
Android. I think it's one of those ones that's on Android
Yes.
and PC, or maybe just Android.
I think it was an Android bundle, and then
Maybe
it
it's
was
a
on
weekly.
PS Plus some time ago too.
It was also free on Amazon not long ago, Amazon Mobile. And I got it there too, but I'm still trying to play the PS3 version first.
All right. Is that it for your gaming week?
That is all.
All right. I'll talk about my gaming week. Okay, so I teased one for you, Flacco, a little bit ago. In that 99-cent sale, I went crazy. And one of the games I bought the Jurassic Park game. And some people are saying 99 cents, you still paid too much for the Jurassic Park game. Here's the thing. 'Cause I guess the game, Telltale does a lot of great games. They've done so much, obviously Walking Dead was phenomenal, and the Monkey Island, and, they do a lot of good stuff. But Jurassic Park did not get such good reviews. So, but I liked the movie an awful lot, Jurassic Park. I don't read a lot of books, but I read Jurassic Park when I was younger. I read that whole book, and there's so many differences between the book and the movie, by the way, if you didn't know. Like, everybody dies in the book. Everybody dies in the book.
I've read the books. You're totally right.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't mean to get on that tangent, but Jurassic Park's had a very interesting history with gaming. Because my first reaction to playing the Jurassic Park game on PlayStation was, this game would have been awesome 15 years ago. But the games we got for Jurassic Park on the Genesis and on Super Nintendo were very different, and they were like, the Genesis one was huge. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Jurassic Park on the Genesis was like a hugely popular game because you got to play as the dinosaur, and so that made it like, it was very different and all. Did you ever, Jamie? You're the Sega fan in the house. Did you ever play Jurassic Park on the Genesis?
No.
It's that and Aladdin.
Rob, mind you, when I was growing up, I had a Super Nintendo.
That's true. That's right.
Dan was the big Sega boy, and
right.
he showed me another way when I moved out here.
Well, Aladdin was the other big movie tie-in game. But then on the Super Nintendo, it was really weird. Like, that was that whole, when, like, virtual reality was really big and, like, Doom and all that. So they actually put, like, a Doom-esque component, first person, into Jurassic Park on the Super Nintendo, where you, like, go in these buildings and the velociraptors are in the buildings. And it was actually really cool. It was really scary for, like, a Super Nintendo game. It was pretty neat. Yeah, I'm sure if you went back and played it today, it would be, like, super crude. But
there's only one thing I can think of.
Huh.
Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark.
Okay, anyway. So for whatever reason, Telltale got this license and like 15 years later is making a Jurassic Park game that is really reminiscent in many ways of an old Sega CD game. Like, remember when like full motion video was all the craze and all that? Like, it's, the game itself is very simple. You know, it's a lot of just like exploring different scenes and looking at things in different scenes. And then the other half of the game is basically like QuickTime Movie the game, where it's like, you know, press X and react really quick, press O and react really quick, and R1 and jiggle the controller and move it in circles and all this stuff. And like, if you do something right, then hooray, you live. But if you do something wrong, oh, a dinosaur just ate a little girl. Like, and yes, that can happen in the game. And so it's kind of like, it's very like almost like Dragon's Lair meets a CD game of yesteryear. So it's kind of retro in that respect too. Now, this might sound like I'm dogging on the game, but I'm actually not, because I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm halfway through episode 2 right now, and what I'm getting a big kick out of is how they made this 15-year-old movie relevant again by creating this whole side story that didn't exist in the books and everything. Basically, it's like fan fiction. You're playing a fan fiction game, but it works. Like, it, and if you guys didn't know, what they did is they used some of the unresolved subplots in the movie. Because, like, for example, you know, and spoilers for like a 15-year-old movie, people. It's probably even older than that. I saw it in high school. It was a long time ago. So in the movie, there's the guy Nedry, right, who was what's his name on Seinfeld? Newman. It was Newman. Newman on Seinfeld was Nedry, right?
You forgot to say in the magic word.
So he tries to get off the island, right? And because the whole thing is he's smuggling dinosaur embryos to a rival company off the island, but he gets killed by the dinosaur. He's the one that shuts down the security. He tries to drive out, and he gets killed by the dinosaur because the security's shut down, right?
Before you say this, is this about the shaving can?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's
Why?
like every fan fiction about Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Like, because they never go anywhere with it. It gets like, it's almost like it gets preserved. Yes. It falls into the mud. It sinks down. You never see it again. It's not even brought up in subsequent
in the
movies.
game.
Oh my gosh.
Because did you know that the whole time there was a plan B? Because Nedry was going to meet people at the docks, and then he never showed up, so the people at the docks go looking for him. That's how the game starts.
That's amazing.
So, and then they have that, and then they introduce these characters, but they're making reference to what happens in the movie. Like, you know, there's this one thing where you're looking through a Triceratops pen and you see a Jeep, and they go, why is there a Jeep out there? And they're like, they have some hotshot paleontologists here looking at the park today, type of thing. And then in another scene where you get to the visitor center, you see a helicopter flying away in the background, which signals that was the end of the movie right there. So it is kind of neat how they created this whole universe that runs concurrently with the movies. So from the story perspective, I'm kind of like, and I went back and read some reviews for the games, and a lot of the reviews really razz the story. I don't think the story's bad at all. Like, I'm like, the story's kind of better than the Lost World was. Sorry about it, but The Lost World was ridiculous. Like, the chick does gymnastics to kick a velociraptor in the face. Really? Mean I remind you guys about the plot of the Lost World? It was kind of ridiculous. So the game in sorts is kind of a better sequel in that regard. I will say this though, from a technical perspective, the game needed some tightening up. I don't know if this is unique to PS3, but like I'm talking like frame skips, little hiccups, like you hit the button to react to something and like I can hear that Sega CD switching to another track in my mind and then skip. Oh, play the new scene. It's like, wow. So
I've had an issue with Telltale games on PS3, sadly, because I have Poker Night 2 and The Walking Dead, and those do have some frame rate like lags and some hiccups. Like, you know, The Walking Dead always is like previously on The Walking Dead, and sometimes like it'll get ready to load a scene because it has to do it based on what you've chosen in the past, and it tries to load it, and I'll end up missing like half the scene. So I think, I don't know, maybe it's just because the old PS3 hardware or something, but they don't run too well on that. But I still have enjoyed the games, but I deal with the hiccups and the problems. They're kind of buggy.
Looking at our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com, Kaijudo says Telltale needs to make a Goonies game. Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
Did you hear that there's plans on working on a Goonies sequel?
They've been talking that on and off for the longest time. And no, this has nothing to do with Goonies 2 on the NES. Can we just get that out of the way? I love Goonies 2 on the NES. Like, Goonies 2 on the NES? Oh, God, here we go. I was talking about Jurassic Park. I'm talking about a 2-year-old video game about a 15-year-old movie, and now I'm going to get into an NES game, such as an episode of Orange Lounge Radio. Hi, new listeners. Goonies 2 was like a Metroidvania game before, like, Metroidvania was really a thing. Think about it, right? Goonies 2 is amazing, but it really had nothing to do with the movie. It was only Goonies 2 because there was a Goonies 1 in Japan, and it was on, the Pay Choice 10 here, but it was never released. So it was literally Goonies 2, the video game.
Yep.
Where there's like a mermaid and shit that you're trying to rescue. It has nothing to do with the movie, but it's such a good game.
It is.
Anyway, where was I? Jurassic Park. Okay, so it has its flaws, but as somebody who really enjoyed the movie as a kid, I really appreciate what they try to do with it. I do find the quick time action scenes to be a little bit exciting because it does kind of like, it gets your, you know, like your character's going to get eaten by a goddamn dinosaur if you don't like react in time. So it does have like that tense moment. It succeeds in doing that. I like some of the mechanics where you flip to different points of view. Like you'll be playing as one person, and then to really solve a puzzle, you'll have to flip to 3 different points of view to solve a puzzle. And so I kind of like that. Like there's, I don't want to spoil too heavy, but in episode 2, I just did a puzzle that involves a roller coaster because Jurassic Park, after all, was going to be a theme park, right? So there's a roller coaster you find, and there's a puzzle involving it where you have to rotate between the 3 characters to solve it. And I thought that was kind of neat. So, you know, a little bit of a 90s cliche in adventure gaming puzzles, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. So, Jurassic Park, for 99 cents, people, it's a good, like, hey, remember the movie? Wasn't it fun? So, yeah.
I'll probably have to get that.
I wouldn't have been mad. If I paid, like, $5, I would have been mad. Even probably, like, $20, which would have been $5 an episode, I've been okay with. I don't know. Did they charge $40 when it first came out, $10 an episode? That might be a bit
I don't
much.
think so.
Because
The Walking Dead was only, the latest Walking Dead season 2 is only $20.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's a decent price. It's fine, but it isn't as strong as some of the other Telltale games, especially from a technical standpoint. I will say that, but it's worth your time. You know, I think. Other games I bought Everyday Shooter, which I just missed out on the first time that was out. That's a fun little twin stick game that it kind of is one of those you learn the game as you go sort of things. Speaking of shooters, I bought a game called Retrograde. I had no idea a game like this existed. I somehow missed this on the radar the first time, but it's like a music game as a shooter. And it's the really neat little twist on it is that you play the entire game in reverse. The game starts with the final boss fight, and you play the game in reverse. And the whole reason behind that is, I guess, beating the final boss screwed up the space-time continuum, so you have to go back in time to undo what you did. And because of that, everything is predetermined. All the motions in the game are predetermined. Enter how it's a music game. Because you have to move up and down in time. You have to hit the buttons to fire or like unfire or whatever in time. And so it's a really neat little mechanic. And your score goes down, not up. And the whole goal is to get the low score in a level. So, yeah, I like that. That was really, for 99 cents, that was a really cool little game. And I know we have a lot of music game fans at OLR that would get a kick out of that. That was Retrograde. I recommend that one. You can also play that with a guitar controller. I do not know where my PS3 guitar controller is. It's probably in a dumpster somewhere. I think I threw it out when we moved. So I'll never get to try out that mode, but it is out there if you...
You could borrow one of our million ones.
Not that big a deal. I mean, the controls are you move up and down, so I imagine that was what the Strum did, and then you have the different buttons. So it's, pretty neat. All right. I think that's about... Otherwise, just a lot of the same stuff in my gaming week, like Final Fantasy 14 and Diablo 3. I'm up to Paragon level 52 in Diablo 3 because I'm really enjoying it. Like the expansion and the patch fixed everything. It's so much more fun to play now. And I'll be playing more of it on my new computer this week. Yay. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to look for more chat over at our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Let's see. I'm trying to say, Jason says, personally, I think Goonies is a horrible game, technically speaking. Punch someone 5 times, punch every wall, warping doors and hiding those behind you. Fuck that noise. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that, Jason. A lot of the game didn't make sense. I wonder how much of that was lost in translation because, again, you remember those early NES games when they were translated from Japanese, a lot of them lost something when they came over, and I'm sure you guys have heard some of those infamous translations. So I'm not sure if Goonies 2 was partially a victim to that because, like, to beat the game, you have to know to punch an old woman 5 times in the face. And it's like, who would do that normally unless you have issues? So, but I'm thinking something was lost in translation there. I don't know. You had to have a guide really to finish the game. So I will give you that. The design was not exactly intuitive. So, Tiger Claw apparently has assembled. Here are the top 10 death scenes from Jurassic Park, the game. Would you like to look at some death scenes from Jurassic Park here in studio? We'll look at a couple here.
Oh, sure.
And maybe Jason can put some of these on the YouTubes as well when he puts the show together here. Let's just look at a couple of these. Oh, this is a 6-minute video. We can't look at this whole thing here. But we can look at a couple just to get a feel for the game here in studio.
Can we go river rafting?
No, we're not going river rafting in the commercial.
I like the soundtrack.
Yeah, a little guitar version. Oh, again, leaning against the walls and Oh, this is a scuba diver just got. Okay, I gotta stop because this is spoilers.
Only if you lose, right?
I haven't. There's a part with scuba diving. I'm not even 2 in the game yet, so I need to not do that.
What did you say the other games that you got were?
I got Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. Retrograde was the shooter. That's the music game, and then Everyday Shooter was the 5th one.
Okay,
And that's what I bought. I spent like $5.
there was something else I was trying to remember you mentioning, but I don't remember what it was.
You should click on my link in chat, Rob.
Oh no! What did you do?
It's another YouTube.
Another one? What is this? Dare I ask?
Just click on it. I'm sorry. I know this isn't Horde House.
This is a scene from Jurassic Park.
I've heard this one.
What the fuck? Oh my fucking god, fucking dinosaurs, holy shit, what the fuck?
So yeah, you found a way to break the
See,
show.
I would have given the game an extra half star if it had that song in it. Because they use the infamous John Williams score in the game, and they use it very well. But
That's
I think
awesome.
I would have given it an extra half star, though. Holy shit, it's a dinosaur.
Like when you die, just play that song.
All right. That's it. That's it for my gaming week. I think that's everybody's gaming weeks. So some quick housekeeping. Please follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/OLR. And you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/orangeloungeradio or Google+. Yes, it's still a thing. Google.com/plus Orange Lounge Radio. All the places to find us on social networks. As far as I know, we still have shows every week coming up until probably June, probably E3. We won't be here that immediate Sunday. We may or may not. I'm still waiting to hear back on E3. Bobby and I are trying to go this year to represent VOG and do some cool stuff there, but we are at the mercy of the E3 Pope. We are awaiting the E3 Pope's blessing, and either we will be blessed or we will be excommunicated. We'll find out in the next couple weeks. Keep your fingers crossed for us, because we want to do that same thing that we did last year, only with 2 people this time covering the show. So we'll see. All right, let us get into some gaming news, of which there is just a little bit this week. It was a bit of a slower news week, but Dark Soccer and I are going to bounce some game stories around here anyway. And Flacco Jones, since I didn't know you were coming tonight until your Easter plans ended early, I didn't give you any stories, but please feel free to chime in, okay?
Okay.
All right. We need your wit and your puns, because according to the chat room, I forgive your puns.
Really?
I yelled at Loki about it a couple weeks ago, and I've
Turbo puns.
Yeah. So you need to make some puns so I can scold you. So fair's fair.
I blame Irene. She always tells the best worst puns, and I'm challenged to do even more terrible ones.
I see. So it's a pun competition, basically.
Yes, it's a pun off.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, well, starting with this. This series has been dormant for a couple years. I think the last time it had a video game was in 2010, and then it had a movie, which was pretty forgettable. But it's Prince of Persia. And Prince of Persia, of course, started off as a classic computer game series that was 2D back in the day, and it made the shift, as a lot of games did, to 3D. And the last game was, I think, on PlayStation 3. Sands of Time? Was it the last one that they did? Which was a decent game as far as action adventure goes. But the series has been sitting dormant since then. Well, there's rumors out there that Ubisoft is making a new 2D Prince of Persia game, so going back to their roots. But here's the deal. They're going to borrow from another Ubisoft game to do it, and that game is Rayman Legends. Ubi Art Framework powered the Rayman Legends game. It's also used in a game called Child of Light, and a French website, and let's remember that Ubisoft is a French company, a French website is reporting that Ubisoft is making this game using, quote, the same techniques of animation used in the last Rayman. The prince's body is divided into several parts, torso, pelvis, leg, shin, foot, forearm, hands, etc., that are animated independently. This provides a real diversity and credibility in the postures and movements of the hero. So it basically gives the illusion of 3D modeling, even though it's a 2D game. And, of course, my mind goes to Xtifer and his love of Rayman Legends, which he never shuts up about that game, right, Flacco? Has he made you play Rayman Legends?
He got me a copy for Christmas on Vita, and I still have not taken it out of the shrink wrap. Well, I've seen so much of it. I feel like I have to wait now for it to really go away from my brain for a little bit so I can experience it again without being like, oh, I've seen this a million times.
Well, I'm not sure. My viewpoint of Rayman is a little tainted because I keep thinking about how much Xtifer loves the game. And if you guys listen to Horde House, he talks about the game even on that show, which is supposed to be about online games. He talks about Rayman a lot. So my perspective is, people really like Rayman Legends. I don't really know because I just have Xtifer. But I think it's been doing well. They've released it on tons of platforms.
I think it does okay. I mean, I don't think it did as well as they were hoping it would do, but I know it did pretty well on the Wii U.
Yeah,
so
that's true because it was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive.
And that still, I think, is where it sold the best.
Yeah. Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
But I kind of think a 2D Prince of Persia in that same vein would actually be kind of neat because that's how Prince of Persia started anyway, right? What do you guys think of the idea of Prince of Persia going back to 2D?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know about going back. I didn't really play a lot of the Prince of Persia games, but I just know that Child of Light game looks awesome. I've seen, like you said, Xtra play Rayman Legends a million times. So I think the engine is really nice. So if they're going to put it on anything, why not do that? It's proven, it's beautiful, and it's really smooth and fast. So yeah, go for it. Why not? It can't be any worse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Child of Light looks great. I really want to play it.
Darsaka?
I think it's an interesting concept. I mean, the whole thing is just, I can see why there'd be an advantage to doing that way, but it seems like it would be complex programming wise. It actually makes me think of basics of Flash animation for doing motion moving because you rig your joints independently. So I'm actually sitting more or less not thinking of how the game would look and play, but thinking of how it would be made.
Yeah, I really do. Even if it does go back to its 2D roots, I really hope they do modernize it in many ways. It's not that, the classics exist for a reason. The classics are still great. You can get the classic. I believe they put it out on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live a couple years ago. They redid the classics around the time they put out the latest game. But it's kind of like, all right, well, those games also got a little bit repetitive. I mean, they were great in the 80s, but they don't hold up very well in today's standards. So I really hope if they're taking it to 2D, they're really giving it some varying environments, some new mechanics, some things to make it competitive with today's platformings.
And dude better look Persian and not like some white dude.
Yes, and he better look like he's actually the Prince of Persia.
He can't look like Jake Gyllenhaal?
Very few people can look like him.
Actually, I'd be okay with him looking like Jake Gyllenhaal. Actually,
No.
I'd be okay with that.
I saw that movie in the theater.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a movie.
I think that if you are going to have somebody represent a certain ethnicity, they need to look like said ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Dungeon Buster says, I wouldn't mind seeing a 2D Prince of Persia. It's a nice homage to its roots. Dark Tetsuya said, I did like the 2D originals, though I think the only one I've liked since was Sands of Time because it was similar to the originals. But this new 2D one sounds interesting. And ActDef says, I'm in favor of Prince of Persia Origins/Legends. So there you go. It looks like most people in our chat room are open to the idea. So again, how much is it going to cost, and is it going to look like a game that's worth $60 if that's the route they go with it? So we'll see. So
I hope they go download route like with Child of Light. Was that $15, $20?
I think so. Yeah, it could end up being a network game.
I mean, I would assume since they're using the same engine, it probably saves them a lot of money, and why not?
Well, I imagine this is one of the E3 things that is leaked out, so we'll know if this is fact or crap come E3. Remember, that is rumor right now, but it's one of those rumors that has a lot of buzz around it. Like, you can usually tell the true ones from the fake ones, so we'll see. Anyhow, moving on. Dark Sakura.
Well, there's this game that we play that involves cat people and really tall people and really huge people and really tiny people.
Let's see. Final Fantasy 14.
No shit. So anyway, Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn has reached 2 million registered user accounts. So that means that this is since, when was the release? It was like last year. So with the they basically, after the beta, there were another 1 million more signups. So it's really starting to chug along. So I'm very pleased because then that means that we'll at least have it for a little while longer.
And such a neat story because of the fact that, Final Fantasy Realm Reborn was essentially having to do over a video game that flopped. And it worked. And I think there was a lot of skepticism.
And they incorporated that into the story, didn't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, they really had to back park the car into this spot that somebody else built, that was kind of a mess in some ways, but they did a great job with it. Like, it's a great MMO. You guys know I never shut up about it. And I'm excited that it keeps gaining steam, too, because I think Warcraft could use a little competition. And that's no disrespect towards Warcraft. I love World of Warcraft. I can't wait for the next expansion for World of Warcraft. But I think Blizzard kind of tends to rest on their laurels a little bit with World of Warcraft because there is literally nothing going on in that game right now. And Blizzard thinks they can get away with that for another 6 months until that expansion comes out. And so I kind of think Blizzard needs a little fire under their tushies. So I think this is only...
A little?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I am also obsessing about Diablo 3 right now. And that's Blizzard. I know tons of people that are losing their shit over Hearthstone, which is also Blizzard, and that just had an iPad thing too. So, it's not like Blizzard isn't doing good things other places, but it's just like as a longtime Warcraft fan, I hate the whole they do a patch, drought. $40 expansion. Mm-hmm. Patch, drought.
And
$50 expansion now.
The only thing I'm excited remotely about the next WoW anyway is just I want more Space Goats lore, and I can read that. They did things with the characters after the last bit that I just was not happy about, so I'm kind of done.
Well, but you have been enjoying Final Fantasy 14. What do you think about Final Fantasy 14? Have you been enjoying it in your time back?
I'm really liking it. I mean, it's not that I just don't have a lot of time, but I like that I can play it when I don't have a lot of time.
I will say this, though, because I don't want to sound like I'm totally up Squeenix's ass in my praise of Final Fantasy 14, because the game isn't without flaws. Like, I do think Endgame right now is a little bit flawed. I think the content itself gets a little dry. But the good news is that Square Enix has done a very good job of giving regular updates. And if they can actually keep sustaining that and not do these big drought phases like Warcraft has, that's going to be the real test. But if they can, apparently they have 2 teams, one on the expansion, one on patches. So if they really are able to kind of keep going with this, it'll be a really, really good thing. Because each patch brings some great stuff. Like what
it seems like they have one every couple months right now, right?
Yeah, and they're talking. There's going to be let's see, they're on 2.2 right now, and then the next one's 2.3. That's a few months away, but they're saying 2.25 will be out at the end of this month.
See, more frequent, smaller patches.
Yes!
It works.
Yes!
Just do it. If WoW would just like take a bunch of their content and just like, you know what, let's just put this thing in a patch. People would, I mean, maybe it's a little artificial, but people I think would feel better about it than getting it.
Yeah.
I don't know, all at once and then getting nothing for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just wish I had a little bit more time to play, but because everyone's sort of shot past me, but I also have other things that I do. So,
but the nice thing is that with the whole level syncing, you can get your friends to come do the lower stuff with you, and it's not just
if
they
they're
don't
not
just
busy beating Titan.
they don't just raffle stomp everything and all that.
I did like tagging along for the treasure hunt, even though I can't kill anything because I at least get a little bit of something out of it. Mm-hmm. But it was fun. I just stood back there and danced.
Sial in our chat room. I always mispronounce that name. I'm so sorry, buddy. In chat says Sky is on Square's payroll. I wish. I can get paid for this.
How do you think you got this sweet new house?
All I have to do is sell out. Yeah, you're the first guest in Studio N7, I believe.
Really?
So, yeah. I believe you are.
Wow, I guess so.
Yeah, and we still haven't shown pictures of the new studio out there. You wanna quickly describe for listeners the new studio?
I don't have the best way of describing things, but it's pretty cool.
We've had pictures of my feet in the new studio.
Oh, that's true. No, I really like it here. I like all the geeky posters, the game posters here. Kingdom Hearts, that's pretty awesome.
That was Alan's idea.
Yeah, I love it. I love all the posters. I
I'm
like the
taking a
setup here.
panoramic.
It's super cozy.
No. So we got to keep it a secret.
It's like
Keep it a
we're in
Don't
like
forget.
your living room or dining room area, and it's just pretty. It's pretty amazing. I really like it.
Thank you. Good
It's like
times.
it's way different than being huddled over the kitchen table the last time I was here. It's like let's all sit by the kitchen table and tell stories.
It's like in here you actually get to lounge around a little bit.
Yeah, I
So
feel like I'm
it's-
like kicking back. I got my Brew Free or Die IPA product plug, and it's really good.
Yeah.
And so I'm just drinking some beers and having a good time here.
awesome.
I like it. It's super cozy in here.
All right,
And
we'll
the air
get a
conditioning feels great.
We'll get a YouTube or something up soon and do all that. All right. Let's see. What else do I want to say about Final Fantasy? I thought there was something else I wanted to say about the game.
Fat chocobos.
Yeah, Fat Chocobos are great. The angle that Final Fantasy has that WoW doesn't, that I think really does give them a leg up. PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, all coexisting peacefully on the same servers. Not a lot of games that do that. Last game I can think of that did that, Final Fantasy 11, which included Microsoft. And Alan, come over here. Alan's like, me. I want to say something. Yes, Alan. Hi, Alan. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you for building me a PC, by the way.
Maybe I'll sit in at the start of part B and we can talk about it.
Okay, yeah. You can share everybody the geeky specs and everything. What do you want to say about all this?
The rumor is that the reason why Final Fantasy XIV is not on the 360, or rather the Xbox One, is because Microsoft doesn't want their player base interacting with people on the other console. They want their own 14 world. And Square's like, no, that's not what the game is. So Microsoft doesn't get 14 because they don't want to let other kids play in their
They
pool.
don't play nice.
I don't think that's a rumor. I think that's true. But it's the thing that gets me is that 11 was I was at the E3 where at the Microsoft booth they made a huge deal about 11 coming to the Xbox 360 and that you were going to be able to play with everybody else.
And that was but you still had to have gold to do that, and then the play online shit, right?
Which, by the way, who co-owned Play Online?
Sony?
Sony. So you had to install a Sony product on your Xbox 360 to play Final Fantasy 11. That game broke all the fucking rules, and Microsoft was like,
Well,
never
now your
again.
Xbox One can play Blu-rays, so
I guess that's true. That's true.
Sony making money all over.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of Final Fantasy, I have another story about Final Fantasy for you guys, and that is about Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 3, not 3 America, which was actually 6. Okay, but we're talking the old school NES Final Fantasy 3 Japan that has been re-released here on America on the DS, right? They did it in a 3D format. They made it look more like the PlayStation 1 era games a little bit. It was on the DS, and now it's on mobile phones, right? Well, guess what? Apparently, it's coming to PCs as well. This is revealed by a rating from, ratings boards tend to spill the beans all the time. It's always in another country. Well, thank you, Germany. Germany's USK board apparently leaked the news. Final Fantasy III on the PC. Hey, for what it's worth, it's rated USK 6, which I imagine means, 6 and up, probably, type of thing. We know that Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 3 already exist on the PC, but we have not heard anything about Final Fantasy 3. This would make sense, though. I mean, I would imagine the back structure that goes into the game can't be that much more complicated than the already existing iOS port iOS port, before Jamie gets me on that, and Android ports.
Heart.
I imagine that it's not that difficult once those ports exist to get it over to PC as well. I mean, granted, my programming knowledge is very little, but I can't imagine it's too difficult. But the interesting news is that would lead me to think that if this is released and does a decent job, which Final Fantasy on the Steam store at a discount ought to do pretty well, this means we're going to get Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy V, and let's hope if they decide to put out Final Fantasy VI, they go back and fix some things that were wrong with it. But this could very much open the door to a lot more Final Fantasy games on Steam. We'll see. This could be very, very interesting. All right. Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Akuma JP in chat says, why? Final Fantasy III is already everywhere. Good point. Keep in mind, Akuma JP, the game was new to us until the DS version came out. It was the last Final Fantasy game to get released in the US that had been out in Japan but not here.
Translated wrong.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, on your little
on my
Samsung.
Android.
Look at that. That's amazing. Bobby Blackwolf, wanting to clarify what Alan had brought up earlier here about Final Fantasy XI, he actually pointed to a news article from RPGsite.net that says, Microsoft refuses to allow titles to share a multiplayer service between other platforms. For Final Fantasy XI's Xbox 360 release, the company made an exception, presumably to curry favor with Square Enix to secure Final Fantasy XIII's release for their console. But no such exception was made for the latest MMO entry. Well, if the game continues to do well, they might need to reconsider.
Maybe they should pull Final Fantasy 15 from it. No, just kidding. No, it worked. They got Final Fantasy 13 on there, so right. Yeah. 12 did they get 12? No, just 13.
Yeah, 12 was on PlayStation 2. So
yeah.
I wish they'd done 12 on Xbox 360, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So no, it was just 13.
13.2, 13.3, 13.4, 13. Oh, sorry, I lost track.
And presumably 15 is on the Xbox One as well.
That's what I've heard. That's what. Yeah.
So
my joke was, take it away from them.
Well, there's some interesting news we'll get into later where maybe Sony has now done some things that might not sit well with Square Enix. So we'll see. We'll get into that later in the show. All right. Meanwhile, let's move on with some more news before we get to release dates. Dark Sakura.
Well, there was some crap going on with Elder Scrolls Online. They found a bug that lets you basically duplicate pretty much unlimited amounts of gold. So ZeniMax Online Studios, they are going in and trying to make sure they can get the local economy back to normal and trying to get the bug ripped out and squished like the evil that it is. But they haven't said anything about what exactly they're going to do to address it.
Well, yeah, usually they're not going to tell you because they don't want people to duplicate the bug. That kind of stuff is killer in MMOs, those types of exploits. Final Fantasy XIV actually had one when the game first launched on The Realm Reborn, and they not only did they patch it out without telling people they were going to do it, they did it overnight, but then they went and if you had gil from this exploit, they either banned you or took your gil away, all of it. So, and there were people that got caught up in it that weren't even, somebody had bought something with the gil from their auction house posting, and so they got the money taken back. It's that it will fuck up an economy that good where they have to really change that. But that's crazy when, from my understanding, is this bug was reported in beta.
Well, what they did since is that basically they have disabled access to guild banks. And they had a patch out that changes the auto stacking in the guild banks. So it's basically trying to prevent it until they can fix the economy.
Oh, there you go. If you abuse it, we'll lock it down. Elder Scrolls Online, there are some people I know that are playing it that really, really enjoy it, but overall, the reception seems to be a little bit tepid, so I'll be interested to see if they can keep up that sub-fee thing going on. So you haven't checked that out at all, right, Flacco?
No, I have not. Not even the beta. Again, PC's dead. But it's supposed to be coming to PS4, so...
It is. Is that one of the ones that's on the One as well? I don't remember. I guess not.
I probably not. I don't think so. I don't think any of these MMOs are coming to the One.
I don't think it like World of Tanks.
Yeah,
360.
but that's exclusive to them, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so
I guess
there
the
you
only way
go.
we'll get anything is by making it an exclusive.
They had Defiance on 360, but those servers were segregated.
They were segregated. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how they got away with
So
it.
I don't know. Maybe they're getting it and it'll be segregated.
All right, let's travel around the world and check out release dates and talk about some games coming out soon in a store near you. This week in the U.S., since Loki's not here tonight, I'll go ahead and do the U.S. releases here. We have Demon Gaze coming out on the PlayStation Vita. Tesla Effect on Windows and Macintosh. That's a Tex Murphy adventure. And Warface on Xbox Live Arcade. All those games on the 22nd. As well as on the PlayStation 4. Flacco, I don't know if you've heard about this game. Octodad, Deadliest Catch.
I am dying to play. I played it actually on a demo kiosk at Fry's.
Yeah?
And it was so much fun. And and I'm big into those what do they call Awesome Games Done Quick charity marathons. Mm-hmm. 2 years ago, they had the people that made Octodad come on there and demo that first version of the game that I believe was free or really cheap. It was kind of like, their first, version of it.
Right.
And it was really funny to watch them play it. And in that game, it was on the PC and you had to take the mouse and hold either the left or right mouse and slide it forward and to move your little octo legs. And from what I saw and then from what I played of the PlayStation 4 controller, they really captured that perfectly because you had to hold one of the shoulder buttons and move one stick to move your half of your legs on the one side of your body, and then do it again to move your other legs. And you pick stuff up and you move it around, very Surgeon Simulator like you knock everything down when you move around. It was really fun to play. And part of me, I'm such a cheapskate. I'm like, please be PlayStation Plus, but if it isn't, I'll probably still throw some money that way because it looks really fun.
Well, there could always be a 99-cent sale.
I know, but do I want to wait?
Now?
Do I want to wait? I could wait for PlayStation Plus, which I usually do, but for this game, I might make an exception because it was so much fun. You had to put on your tux to get to your wedding. It was hilarious, and no one knows you're an octopus because you're in disguise.
Well, on the 25th, a little later in the week, you can look forward to Dark Souls 2 getting its Windows release. So you can die over and 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 over again on your Windows machine. So Dark Souls 2 coming to kill you this week on the 25th. Also on the 25th, a lot of Wii U Nintendo fans very excited for the release of NES Remix 2, a.k.a. NES Remix with the good games coming out this week on the Wii U. I'll probably be picking that up. So I enjoyed NES Remix until I had to play the games that you unlock. So I was like, wow, usually the unlock stuff is the good stuff, but here I got Golf and Wrecking Crew and Urban Champion.
Are they discounting the first one?
I don't know, but if you own both, you get a bonus mode. You get that 90s championship mode where you can, you get remember that cartridge that was in 3 steps, the very rare cartridge they did a wizard style tournament where you did.
If it was rare, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I didn't have rare stuff.
No, it was
No,
actually
not
a rare
rare.
cartridge.
It was-
No, I meant that's what I meant. I only had one.
What was it? The 86 World Championship.
Yeah, there was 2 of them. One of them had Rad Racer and Tetris, and another one had I don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't. My parents hated buying me video games, so I only got video games that were handed down to me. So I got whatever my uncles bought.
All right, so those are the releases in the U.S. this week. Let's travel over to Japan real quick and see what's coming out over there, because, what comes out here tends to come out there a little later sometimes, and what comes out there comes out here a little later sometimes. First off, on the PlayStation 4, nothing, because, it's still kind of new over there, and they did get Final Fantasy this week. Xbox One still not released over there, so there's nothing to report on that. On the PlayStation 3, however, there's a few things. 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil on April 24th, along with Grand Theft Auto 4, the complete edition. Muv-Luv, Photon Flowers. We love our Muv-Luv here at Orange Lounge Radio, and so that is coming out on PlayStation 3. Red Dead Redemption gets a price reduction, and the complete edition comes out as well on the 24th. And Herem Tengoku da to Omotatara Yandere Jioku Data comes out this week as well. And I have no idea what that is. But I recognize the word Tengoku. That's heaven, right?
Yes.
It looks like cute girls raising a cat. And the girls, sometimes their clothes fall off. That's apparently what I'm getting from the screenshots. And they're in maid uniforms and pervy kids everywhere.
And the cat looks up at them from very low angles.
Yeah. I think we know what kind of game that is. All right. Those are the kind of games that for some reason don't get released here. I don't understand. On the Xbox 360 this week, Monster Hunter Frontier GG Premium Package. Ooh. Jason Love Plus Pango in regular, limited, and Sega Store limited edition. Is that like the old school Pango game, like redone? Oh my god, it is. It's the old school Pango game. Remember the penguin that you push around the cubes and everything? It's like a new version of that, but it's like in widescreen and shit. Are we getting this here? That's kind of rad.
Not with that box art.
Dude, that box art is amazing. I love it.
I guess, yeah, wow. I didn't know that Pango still had like rabid fans over in Japan or something enough to necessitate this in 3 different releases. That's pretty cool. All right, well, checking out the handhelds. Oh, sorry, I should check Wii U real quick here. Wii U they get the retail release of Famicom Remix 1 and 2. They're getting a retail release this week. So you got that as well as a Monster Hunter premium package as well. I think it's just a rebranding of Monster Hunter all over again. Checking the handhelds now on the PlayStation Vita, Blaze Blue, Chrono Phantasma, Rayman Legends, and Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment in regular and limited edition on the Vita. And on the 3DS this week, Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call. Ooh, I want to play that.
For the record, Ikuma JP says that Pango is huge in Japan.
Wow. I love Pango. I didn't know it was like a huge thing over there. That's cool. And let's see. Last but not least on the 3DS this week, Maple Story Unme no Shouju comes out this week.
Fate of what?
It's just a Maple Story side story, I'm sure is all that is. I'm trying to see if it looks like the actual...
Maple Story is so cute.
It looks boring as hell to me, honestly. All right, but some people will be into it.
And yes, thank you, Octodeft. I was thinking that Octodad equals Chicken Boo the game. Wear a disguise to look like human, guys.
Isn't Octodad more like Q-Wop, kind of?
I never played that, but I heard that control-wise.
Yeah. I guess Surgeon Simulator is not good.
Yeah, Surgeon Simulator meets Chicken Boo. Maybe that's a better description.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Dark Sakura, how about the UK?
There's some stuff, a few things. On the 22nd, Warface comes out. 23rd, The Walking Dead Season 2 on Vita. On 25th, Dark Souls 2 and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures All-Star Battle. And that's it. You know, which is funny. I still find it hilarious that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is still like a lucrative IP, especially since it's been done for like years. I think the manga was like originally out in like the early to mid 80s, wasn't it?
I think so, but my mind just goes to Mojo Jojo or KC and JoJo. But
it had the JoJo fighting game.
Mojo Jojo.
Some system or the other.
Yes, my kids love Powerpuff Girls.
All right, one more story for you guys before we get to the classic game of the week. And I like being able to do gamers do good news stories this week. And there was a really cool little fundraiser that happened this week that was taking place on Twitch, as a lot of fundraisers do for video games. But playing a game that's near and dear to our hearts, DDR. Yes, they were playing DDR on Twitch for the Team in Training Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So they were on there. I'm trying to remember what the specific rules of the whole thing were. I believe it was that he was going to play DDR. He was going to keep going, and his name is Jeff, is the guy that did it. And Carl, his friend, was the guy that was raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I've actually heard of this because I have friends that do this. It's like a big marathon that you raise money to do, and the money goes to a good cause, obviously.
And they actually do good, unlike the Komen group for breast cancer.
Yes. So they were doing a Desert Bus for Hope style where you donate and it will force them to keep playing DDR continuously. And if you donate, you can make requests to do like weird things or play songs, make them play Keep On Moving or what is that song that's so god-awful in the game? Let Them Move. You can make them play Let Them Move over and over and over again if you want. Notch, the Notch that made Minecraft, he decided to drop $10,000 on it. So they got to dance all night long. They went for 16 hours. So
Nice.
very cool.
He has all that extra money since he's not supporting the Oculus anymore.
Now, don't shade him when he's doing good.
Yes,
Look,
he's doing a great job.
I said some shady things about Notch a couple weeks ago because I thought that was some BS, that whole thing about the Oculus. But look, if he's going to put the money towards good places, we should say thank you, Notch. It was a very nice thing you did. Good job,
Your
Notch.
tax write-off.
Good job, Notch. Now maybe you should reconsider some other things. No, in all seriousness, I know some of our listeners were I know Jason was watching this feed, and SJ and Matt was telling me about it, and Dark Tetsuya. All these people were talking about what was going on with that. So I think that's a great thing, raising the money for good. So congrats, and that's awesome that it was such a success. They raised, I think I heard it was like $17,000.
Wow.
Yeah, right. God, and I thought it was awesome when we raised $1,000 on Horde House last year, which was awesome. Don't get me wrong.
It was awesome.
But no, that's great. Congrats, you guys. All right. And I really hope you didn't have to play Let Them Move because that song is so awful. So awful. Hey, less awful. A chance to take a trip down memory lane and visit a classic video game that Dark Sakura thinks, hey, listen, all you little brats out there. Enough of this whole newfangled MMOs that aren't on your Xbox One.
Our MMOs were called Gemstone, and they were text, and you played them through AOL.
That's right. You played Ultima Online or Get Out.
You might have been eaten by a Gru, and you liked it. Maybe.
It's the classic game of the week. Dark Sakura's going to step into the gaming vault and find a game that she thinks, hey, play this, or you're stupid. Dark Sakura.
Yeah, you're stupid because you are.
Dark Sakura, what is the classic game of the week?
Alex Kidd Miracle World, because I somehow haven't done this game yet.
How have you never done Alex Kidd?
I think I did Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, which was the one I really liked.
Okay, Alex Kidd in Miracle World.
Alex Kidd in Miracle World is a very special game. It was a platformer that came out on the Sega Master System, and it came out in Japan on Saturday, November 1st, 1986, and then went to the Western area at Australia in 1987, and it's probably the best known of the Alex Kidd games. And when the Master System 2 came out, Alex Kidd Miracle World was built into the system. And it basically, you play as Alex Kidd, who lives in the Miracle World. That's like this big fantasy world, and he has the ability to punch rocks. And so he's going to look for his long-lost brother, Prince Eagle.
And he punches frogs in the face.
He does. To fight against Junkin the Great, who took over the land of Radaxian. So basically, you basically have to... all the citizens were turned into stone, and so you have to basically do all this crap to go rescue people, and you go around punching rocks and punching creatures and riding...
And you're on a motorcycle.
Exactly, riding a motorcycle. So you have all kinds of different stuff to go. And this feature, you basically also have different ways to continue the game. It has a continue feature that's undocumented, where you can continue the game with 3 lives from the beginning of the level where you died. You hold the up button and press the 2 button 8 times during the game over screen. But it costs you 400 bombs, which is the currency in game. To finish, you also have to face a boss who you have to win by playing Jankenpon, which is rock paper scissors, and then
it's such a weird way to fight bosses. You play rock paper scissors. There's a strategy.
But to finish the stage, you also have to grab a food object at the end of each of the stages. You can only take 1 hit before you die, and it does not have a battery save option or a password system. So what you see is what you get, and to be good at this game, you really have to...
Wait, you die in 1 hit?
1 hit death, yes.
Oh my god.
Back in the day, you had to be a pro. A pro. However, like I said, there was the undocumented continue system. So, because Sega loves us.
Well, if they really loved us, they give us Shenmue 3. So I don't think they really love us, Dark Sakura.
People need to let the Shenmue thing go.
I can't.
Anyway, this was basically the game was created to combat Super Mario Brothers, and Sega was really trying to have a good competitor. Basically, what they were trying to do with Alex Kidd, they had already had Wonder Boy also, but they couldn't do it with those types of platformers. They didn't actually get any good competition until Sonic was created. But the game was received very well. They loved it in France.
What don't they love in France?
Americans.
Oh, yeah.
IGN, for a 2008 retro review, gave the game a 9 out of 10. It won an Editor's Choice Award.
Well.
And there's a French band, like I said, it's loved in France. The French punk band called Chunk No Captain Chunk have a song named after the game on their album Something for Nothing. The game used to only be available in cartridges. There was a slightly different version in 1990 that came out for the Master System 2. But like I was saying, it was also built into the Master System 2. And the game also was re-released along with Super Hang-On and Revenge of Shinobi as part of the Sega Vintage Collection Alex Kidd and Company, which came with Xbox Live Arcade and PSN. There was the sequel. There was Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle, which was the 5th one, but it was considered the actual sequel to Miracle World. And that one came out for this Sega Mega Drive, which was the Genesis over here. So it's that's it. Alex Kidd Miracle World. It's a damn good game. Why aren't you playing it?
I'd go do it. You can get it on Virtual Console, right? You said.
PSN and
Yeah, I was like, I think it's out
I
there.
think it might be on Virtual Console. I don't remember.
I think it is. All right, there it is, your classic game of the week, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And you can rock, paper, scissors.
Although I
the
still
night away.
liked Shinobi World better, but that was me.
That's all right. It's well, because it has because it's kind of the marriage of the Shinobi World as well, and
Yeah.
it's a little more.
I also think
in-jokes.
that was actually the first Alex Kidd game that I played was Shinobi World.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this part A of Orange Lounge Radio. But don't go anywhere, guys, because we have plenty more of the show to come, including the Fugal question of the week, your emails, the FUs of the week, and your phone calls at 1-877-GAME-OLR or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. More with Flacco Jones as well after the break. And Alan going to be here to talk super nerdy computer building. So we'll be back after this with more of Orange Lounge Radio. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Orange Lounge Radio with episode number 549 already in progress for this April the 20th of 2014. So happy Easter to you, or happy 420, or happy Sunday, whatever it is you're celebrating today. Welcome back. Flacco Jones joining us in studio, being our extra special guest. Loki not here tonight. He is off celebrating Easter with the fam. Dark Soccer is here in studio celebrating her birthday. And she got some presents earlier in the show. And then gave us presents, those yummy scones. It was very delicious. Also joining us here at the top of Part B, because we said he'd be back here, Alan is here.
Hello.
How are you, Alan?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So, Alan, thank you for building me a new computer.
You're welcome. I was due.
What do you mean you were due?
I usually try to upgrade my own PC every 3 to 5 years, and I usually build them to where I can last the whole 5 years, but I haven't been able to afford one. My machine that I built is still running from summer of 2008, so I'm running a 6-year-old system.
Yeah.
Go straight to gamer jail. But for the longest time when we started dating, I was like, you have a pre-made gateway, I'm going to build you a PC. And it finally happened.
Wait, did you judge me a little bit for that?
No, you didn't know any better.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, no, you made it your mission to build me one, and they actually said at the store we went to buy all the parts, which it was Fry's, whatever. I usually don't like naming places because they don't pay us to mention them, but whatever. We went to Fry's, and they were like, you bought all this stuff, and we'll assemble it for free. Do you want to do our assembly?
Yeah, I didn't know that they even did that, let alone for free.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can handle it, and I did. It was fine.
Yeah. Well, except for that part you broke. That's all right.
Oh, I didn't. I mean, the thing that was wrong out of the box.
No, the chip you tried to put in your computer today.
Yeah, that was my fault. But I was trying to cannibalize your PC that was now you've replaced it. So I was like, ooh, you've got a quad core. I want to take that. But I somehow bent a couple of the CPU pins, which is bad. But I got to take some RAM.
You did.
I took some of your RAM.
Are you noticing any difference at all?
Not really. I'm defragging it, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so the nerds want to know what's the specs? What do we do? How do we build the new PC?
So to stop any like fan wars before they start, I have certain allegiances to products that are just based off of my own experiences. If I had one bad experience with one brand and then good experiences with another, I'm just going to lean towards that. So I went with AMD. Just because I feel the performance that you get and the longevity you get for the price is better than Intel. You're paying for a premium with Intel, I know, but kind of like buying a Sony TV. Why would you want to spend the extra $2,000 on a Sony TV when you can get a Samsung? That's kind of my attitude about it. It's an AMD 8350 8-core. It's got 8 cores, and the clock speed is 4.0 gigahertz. 16 gigs of RAM, Corsair RAM. I'm not sure of the speed. And it wasn't the most super ultra fastest RAM because it was just too expensive for 16 gigs. So it was kind of in the medium range. And then for the video card, it's a EVGA is the ones who made the card, and the chipset is a NVIDIA GTX 760 with 2 gigs on it. And it purrs. It's very quiet, and I'm jealous of it already.
Oh, it's such a quiet.
But I had a fun time. I had a great time building it.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. I had a great time playing games on it last night.
Yeah.
It's like Diablo 3 is so smooth.
And a solid state hard drive for instantaneous Windows and game loading.
And that was based on Facebook recommendations. You didn't have that in the original specs,
well,
right?
just for regular disk tray like SATA hard drives, you can get like a terabyte hard drive internal for like $110. Like, just the cost of space is dirt cheap. And I'm like, if you've got a Steam library like we do with like 400 gigs worth of games that you can install, why not get like a giant fat plate disk hard drive? But everyone's like, no, you got to go solid state. So it's like, all right, you're the one buying it, so I'll get you the prettiest thing.
Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com, Tiger Claw asks, about the PC case, does it have a side panel window?
It does, which is really good, because when you hook it up and you're ready to turn it on, you hit the little switch, not the main PC switch, but you hit the little switch on the power supply to get that power. There's a little green LED on the motherboard that lights up that says, everything's good, you can try turning me on. So the little glass panel on the side of the case lets you see the motherboard. And I think there's like a red light, or like it'll blink if like it's like, don't turn me on, like you screwed something up. A lot of those things are kind of foolproof now.
That's great.
Like, I'm sure there are nightmare stories where you hook something up wrong and turn it on, and then you smell ozone and you just blew out the stuff you just bought. But there's a lot of fail safes in that stuff now.
Now, earlier in the show, when I was talking about the computer being built and everything, we had a chatter that said, why not just get a PC out of box? Or that's really nerdy, building your own PC. So why build your own PC, Alan? Why did we take that route?
It's kind of like, I don't know, dudes that are into, or women or whoever, who are into cars, that like just restoring cars, and their hands are all cut up and they've got calluses because they like going in and going, here's this thing I made. I can look at that computer and go, I built that. Also, being kind of pretentious, if you build your own, you can get exactly what you want. The only way you can really do that as a gamer is to go to Alienware, or what's that one company that they always podcasts have an affiliate program with them. They're in Seattle.
Oh,
Eagle.
we won't mention them because
right.
they don't sponsor this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
It's Cat Apartment Systems.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's right. I just remembered. You can go that route, but then you're paying a huge premium for all the souped up water cooling, dry ice, bubble LED, blinky shit, like jet engine, weird, custom, loose sight, stripper heel case.
Well, that case has these 2 holes in it, and I was like, is that so you can fuck your computer?
Yeah, no, they're like
the perfect
they're
size?
like little rubber buttholes that you can stick your finger in. No, it's for water cooling. If you want to run tubes, tubes through like a chassis that will cool your graphics card and your CPU. So, the case, For anyone that wants to Google image search it, it's an Antec, and I love Antec. That's one of those things where, why did you go AMD or why did you go NVIDIA? I've had good experiences, so I'm loyal to those products.
Well, and I noticed
my current case is an Antec 900, and I got you, or picked out for you, an Antec 302.
Codeman in our chat says, I had a bad AMD processor once and it turned me off, but I love AMD video cards. That's actually where I'm at. I love the AMD video cards, but since, I was letting Alan be the boy who's playing with Legos. And
yes.
So I said, all right, you do what you think is best and I'll
I had a nightmare. The computer that I had before this one, the Catalyst software that ATI, it might be better now, but there was something about that Catalyst software and the other hardware that I have. I hated it. It blue screened all the time, and I did not like that. Mm-hmm. But NVIDIA was always generally fine for me. So
okay. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what else to ask you with that. So are you already thinking about what you want to do for your new computer now?
I could upgrade. I mean, I can't get something as souped up as what you have, but I could, I'm still on a dual core. Mm-hmm. I could just get a new motherboard and a CPU, even just keep the RAM that I have, even though it's 5-year-old RAM. I could probably do that for $300 or less.
Well, yeah, and she's thinking they might have an extra quad core processor. I bet if we batted our eyelashes and asked very nicely, there's probably people out there that are getting I just got rid of mine. So you never
My
know.
stuff is so old that I can't really even, the chip that I have is the highest chip that my motherboard will take, so I have to replace the motherboard too.
All right, well, if somebody wants to donate to your new computer fund, where can they find you on the internet?
Salacious Pop on Twitter.
That's Salacious_Pop.
Yeah, Salacious_Pop on Twitter, and then I'm Alan Alchemy on Tumblr.
There you go.
And I fixed your DVD-ROM drive. Usually there's one minor thing where I'll build the computer and turn it on, and the little activity light that blinks when you're reading to the hard drive, that won't be hooked up. The thing that I forgot to do is your DVD-ROM writer drive, I didn't hook it up to the power supply. So when I turned it on, I hit the little eject disk tray thing, and I'm like, uh-oh, DVD-ROM's not working. What I do, I just hooked it up to power. Now it works.
Now, not to be reading Facebook messages publicly, but I have to ask you about this one because I noticed our buddy Brad from Pod Culture commented on your post about how you accidentally botched the pins on the 4-core Intel.
Yeah.
And he suggests the old trick of using the barrel of a retractable ballpoint pen would work.
I did not know about that trick, and I may still try that. The thing is that I didn't realize that some of the pins were bent when I was trying to originally seat it back onto the board, and by trying to seat it, I made them worse. So the pins that are bent are pretty badly bent. They're not really kind of just leaning. One of them is pushed all the way down, flat. So that's pretty bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to share with listeners tonight?
I'm sorry that I don't guest on the show more, but as Rob knows, Sundays are usually my Mondays at work. So I'm at work, and then when it's a holiday or work is slow and I'm home, the show's great, but it's it's a free day off. I'm I don't usually work on Sundays, so I'll do housework or I'll just play 14 or video games or Diablo 3. And then I'll listen. Earlier, when I was doing laundry, I was listening to the show that's happening in the house on my cell phone on a 10-second delay. So I would hear Flacco Jones laugh in person, and then I would go down the hallway, and then I'd get the laugh again in my headphones. It's a very trippy effect to stream a show that takes place in your house.
Well, if you hurry, you can hear yourself.
Yes.
Wait, quickly though, what other games have you been playing lately? What have you been into?
It's a 14 and doing this stupid. It's more a conversation for Horde House, but the bullshit with the new kind of your legendary weapon that they have in WoW, the relic stuff. It's really to chain you to a subscription because it takes so long to do, and so much of it's based off random numbers that I'm hooked on trying to get that done.
One more tip from Brad from Pod Culture in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com. Brad says, really slowly bend it back with a pen and it should work. So good luck. Hey, if that works, that would be awesome for you.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't think of anything I already know.
Yeah, I've been playing 14, Diablo 3, Skyrim. Oh,
I talked earlier about Jurassic Park. You've been watching me play that a bit. What do you think of that?
It looks fine. It looks like it looks like a Telltale adventure game.
Yeah.
There's the I don't know if it switches characters in the later episodes, but you're a professor, a veterinarian, and his daughter. And she was asking him a question, and I kind of chimed in, Daddy, why do we look drunk? Because they kind of have this glassy eye, the art direction's kind of weird. They just look
Sorry.
I swear to God, he should be doing live streaming. He is so funny.
So
Why do you think I like him so much?
So sometimes watching the characters kind of talk, I'm like, there's something's wrong with them, but that has nothing to do with the game. That's just kind of like how the people look. But it looks fine.
Well, and then my favorite, well, I don't want to give a spoiler, but it's just, the two characters that, they know each other. What a surprise, because...
Yeah, well, they both have bandanas. They're both the two people that aren't white. They both have tattoos, and it's like, and then she's like, you, and I'm like, of course they knew each other. Like it's bad. And then I loved screaming, like you were trying to solve a puzzle involving turning on the electricity. Mm-hmm. So when she opens up the electrical cabinet, I'm like, and dinosaurs, dinosaurs right now. Velociraptor right now, and he just kept waiting for dinosaurs to jump out for no reason. Like she turns over a nest, and a dinosaur.
As soon as they got the power on, what happened?
A dinosaur showed up. But I want dinosaurs, like a full T-Rex, to come out of like a can of soup, just like dinosaurs, like snakes in a can. But yeah, it looked fine. I don't really understand why.
It's got a few tech hiccups though.
Yeah, when the game kind of froze, but 3 or 4 sentences of conversation audio were still happening, and then the subtitles and the video kind of caught up with the conversation. I was like, was that lag? Like, what just happened? So yeah, there's a lot of weird tech stuff.
All right. Well, Alan, we're going to get back into some rapid fire news and emails and all that good stuff, but thanks for dropping by.
Did you see in chat when I said there were 2 OLR birthdays this week?
No, tell us about the other one. I did see it, but our conversation had moved on.
It was
that whole delay thing, right?
Yeah.
So tell listeners about the other birthday.
Our kitty Sanrio is 14. Aww. She's very old.
Kidders.
And she's still in great health. She's old, so she sleeps a lot, but she'll be around for a few more years.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give her extra, but we don't really celebrate cat birthdays, sadly.
I would make her some actual fish, like tuna or salmon, and cook it up, make kind of warm, and give it to her. But I don't want her to I'll have to deal with that in the litter box later. So she doesn't really get a birthday feast. Her system is too fragile for that. So she gets kibble forever.
There you go. Well, she gets extra pettings.
Yes.
Today. All right. Well, Alan, thanks for stopping by. Feel free to, if you hear Flacco Jones laughing later and you want to respond to it, feel free to just jump in here, okay? All right. You're always welcome. All right.
I like the laughing gas laughed up whatever track on Big Bang Theory or something. I can't stop laughing.
OLR was taped in front of a live studio audience of
just Flacco Jones.
All right. Act Deft in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com says Sanriold.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure how to
Stop with the old jokes, chat.
I know, right? Y'all are mean. All right, let's go to some rapid fire news, you guys. We're going to talk about a few things happening in the industry quickly. Starting off with, I got to be honest, guys. This is what happens when you have a week where there's not a lot of news. You get a lot of stories. You get a lot of rumors and talkings going on. And there's an interesting story out there about apparently Sony originally wanted Titanfall on the PlayStation Vita. Titanfall, of course, the big game that came out on Xbox One last month, yet PlayStation 4 still managed to sell more consoles, but that's probably the price difference and nothing else coming into play there. I don't know. But anyhow, Titanfall was the big app that was going to move some Xbox Ones last month, and it probably did, but it could have maybe moved some Vitas. Apparently, Respawn had reached out to Sony before the exclusive agreement, with Microsoft to talk about all that and putting Titanfall on the Vita. This all came from the Final Hours app, which was released for Titanfall. There's been a few of these apps for games like Tomb Raider, and I think Portal 2 might have had one, and some of those games. So that all came out of that. However, Respawn did... After the story first broke, they did clarify that Sony wanted it to do what was called an R1 project on the Vita, not the finalized Titanfall games. In other words, it was way before the game became what it was, is when Sony wanted it. But I still kind of go, well, that's still pretty big because, Respawn, the whole way that kind of started and what the kinds of games they've made and so forth and in their history and so forth, whoever was going to get the exclusive from them was going to be a big deal. So it's really not a surprise at all that Sony pitched it. I think the interesting thing to think about is what if that game had been on the Vita It's kind of interesting. But I think
Weird.
Respawn's coming out and saying if it had been the Vita, it probably would have gone a completely different direction. So it makes sense to me. So anyhow, there is that talk going on the internet this week. Speaking of team-ups that didn't happen, Activision, and this is something Activision said themselves. Activision said that initially they wanted to team up with Skylanders with Nintendo. Nintendo turned it down. Now, even though Skylanders is on Nintendo devices, as you know, Skylanders is pretty big and it's on all the different game consoles. Here's a quote here from, let's see, who said this? I don't know who said this comment here because the source article I'm reading never says who did this. But some executives at Activision said, quote, "We have been directed towards thinking about something that would play well with Nintendo. I think there was some co-marketing money and the Wii was doing well. They had some success with peripherals. They spent a long time looking and looking. They were just like, we've never seen anything like this before. I've always wondered about the full meaning of that comment. We have no idea why they didn't commit. Clearly, they have got properties well suited to this world. Why is it that they didn't rush in here will probably haunt them for the rest of their days." So that's interesting that Nintendo could have had that, but they didn't want that. But it's not that, I mean, again, Skylanders made the Nintendo platforms at the end of the day, but Nintendo would have been more deeply involved probably with the creation. And considering some of the strong characters that Nintendo builds, that could have made for a very interesting partnership. So, Also, in kind of what the heck type of news going on, Bungie, which made the Halo series in the past and is now making Destiny, which a lot of people are looking forward to, including myself, let go their big composer this week, Martin O'Donnell, who actually crafted some of the epic soundtrack for the Halo games and was working on the Destiny games, was terminated by Bungie this week, which is very interesting. Bungie did talk to the media at a Destiny preview. Quote, "We don't make decisions lightly, and the music from O'Donnell will remain in the upcoming game, but there's nothing else after that." So very interesting circumstances. The tweet from him says, "I'm saddened to say that Bungie's board of directors terminated me without cause on April 11th, 2014. Wow. So you got to wonder. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be all up in the business. I mean, who knew? Maybe the guy showed up late for work every day or something. I don't know. There could be a million billion reasons, but it's going to be weird because his music is so good that it's not in the next game after Destiny 2 or whatever inevitable thing comes after that. Dark Sakura.
He could have just been a big diva, you know.
It could. I mean, we don't really, companies aren't going to exactly talk about personnel issues forthright, so we're left to rely on Twitter and reading between the lines and all that.
Well, in some other quick news, Infinite Space 3 Sea of Stars is going to be available via Steam Early Access. So you can basically play it as it's in progress. And it's supposed to be a pretty neat game. I mean, there were Strange Adventures in Infinite Space in 2002, and then Weird Worlds returned to Infinite Space 2005. Infinite Space 3 Sea of Stars is going to be $9.95. And like I said, early access. And then there was a little bit of talk about The Last of Us, the PS4 edition, about if it was going to be discounted as well. And the dude from Naughty Dog, Eric Monacelli, is that how I pronounce his name? Said that they're looking into the business model for the different versions of the game, at least as far as discounting the PS3 one as well. And they were looking for owners of basically the big question was regarding the owners of the PS3 version who also got the PS4 version, but they haven't given anything really committed to it. And then last but not least, in Outrun, 3D Outrun is going to have 2 new songs in it, like brand new songs. One is, it's coming out April 23rd in Japan. It's Cruising Line by Manabu Namiki and Camino a Mi Amor from Jane Evelyn Nisperos. And there's going to be a new car, 3 different simulated cabinets, 4 screen modes, remappable controls, replay saving with multi-speed payback, mid-race saving, customizable volume for game audio, engine noise, and ambient arcade machine noise. So, yay. That's it.
There you go. Are you gonna be picking that up?
Huh?
Are you gonna be picking that up? Outrun on the 3DS, maybe?
Well, I'm sure Dan will probably want it. He's the one with the XLs, and he's the bigger Outrun fan.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now is the point where we're going to turn to our listeners for feedback on a particular question we ask in a segment we call the Fugle Question of the Week.
It's rien comprendre.
Every week we ask a question of our fan communities over on Facebook and on Google+, and we read some of our favorite answers here on the air. Tonight was a bit of a tricky question, but it has to do with the whole Prince of Persia thing we talked about earlier. And the question we asked was, what classic video game franchise would you like to see done in the style of a newer video game? So that's the question we asked, because, Prince of Persia being redone like Rayman Legends. So, okay, let's, rumor anyway. Let's see what you guys think would be a classic video game redone like a newer video game. We'll start with Google Plus tonight and some of the answers over there. I love this answer from Red Entertainment. Leisure Suit Larry, done in the style of Farmville. You can help your friends to farm the necessary materials to put together the necessary quest items in order to hopefully nail that saucy Latina down the hall. Or you could actually talk to that equally saucy Latina in the cubicle next to you who has the added quality of being real. I don't know where he was going with that, but I like the opportunity of combining Leisure Suit Larry with Farmville. It's great. Panaxium replies and says, Kid Icarus, done in the new Strider style. Ooh, the new Strider game was pretty hot. Kid Icarus, done like that would be cool. Or Mega Man X, done like the Mass Effect trilogy. I don't know about that one. Who would
be interesting?
Who would Mega Man romance in that? I don't know. It'd be very, very, very interesting. All right. Act Deft replied on Google Plus and said, this reminds me of the 3D classics Nintendo and Sega made for the 3DS. I would like to see more games done in that style. Well, you got Outrun to look forward to, so there you go. And Travis H. says, Symphony of the Night, done in the style of Shadow Complex, or Super Ghosts and Goblins, done in the style of Rayman Legends. Oh, Ghosts and Goblins. That's a series that's been gone way too long that would be cool to see come back in a new modern platform style. That's pretty cool. I like that. Let's go over to Facebook and see some of the answers over there on facebook.com/orangeloungeradio. Just a few comments on Facebook tonight, so I'll go ahead and read them all here. Fifth Dream says, I used to love an old game called Gain Ground. I imagine it would be really cool if they revamped it to be a lot like Diablo 3. That's happening with Gauntlet. Gauntlet is being redone, and it's going to look like, we talked about that a couple weeks ago on the show, it's going to look like Diablo. I'm very interested. Awesome Unicorn says, every game series ever with good music done in the style of Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. Donkey Kong Country, Castlevania, Saga, Mana, Kingdom Hearts. The possibilities are endless. Okay, that's not what you really asked, but I still want it. You know what? I'll accept that answer, especially because some of those games you mentioned were other Square franchises. I was kind of surprised it wasn't DLC in the first Theatrhythm. Maybe in this Theatrhythm game. Who knows? AZHP, I love this answer, says, Final Fantasy done in the style of Bravely Default. Okay, do you guys get what that's funny? Because Bravely Default is a throwback to the old Final Fantasy games, whereas Final Fantasy 13 and so forth haven't really been like the old Final Fantasy. That's the joke. Forget it. All right. Osfer says, I'm going to do a reversal on this and say a newer game done in the style of an older one. Who said you could change the rules? Who do you think you are? All right, fine, I'll take it. Ace Combat, yes, the flight simulator, done in the style of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Okay, if you're going to flip the script, do an answer that makes more sense. I don't get that one. I guess because it's fast. And he says, because it would be hilarious yet beautiful. Fabrice A. replies on Facebook and says, the first Sega Rally Championship with upgraded Outrun 2 graphics. That might be good. Good times. Burr replies and says, Mech Warrior, done in the style of Titanfall. By that, I mean more urban warfare with lots of ground units and elementals. lots of mechs are coming back in with Titanfall. I mean, not that mechs ever left, but definitely Titanfall. Like, everybody loves the mechs in that game. All right. There you go. Those are the answers from Facebook and Google+. And we look forward to seeing more answers throughout the week. And you should add us on our communities so you can answer questions in future weeks. There you go. Some folks in chat trying to figure out how the hell is Sonic 3 going to work with a plane. And Orange Right says Sonic 3 with a plane. ActDev says Sonic 3 already has a plane, though. That's right, like in the very beginning of the game, right? And Dartetsuya just says, I don't even know how that would work. I'm going to need Oscar to email us and tell us a little more about his plans here. It is 420 after all, so you are going to hear some really weird ideas today. For no particular reason, just saying it's, it's all the peeps people are eating today.
Ew.
Everyone's high on peeps.
Okay, fine. Everybody's, chocolate peanut butter eggs.
I haven't eaten any of those yet.
Tomorrow's
I bought a
the big
bag
day.
of peanut butter M&M eggs, and they were delicious.
Why did you not share?
I should have brought those over. Brought beer.
I'll take a beer. Shit. Where's
Go
the
for
beer?
it. They're down
Yes.
here. I got a couple left still. I'm not drinking anymore because they're a little strong.
Free beer.
Jamie has to drive home, so no beer for me.
Awesome. Okay. What was I going to say? I was going to ask you guys if you had any. I know it's a tricky question. I don't know if you guys thought about it for the show, but a old video game done in the style of a new video game. Anything you guys can think of? An old video game done in the style of a new video game.
Well, I'm wearing, in honor of my Silent Hill shirt. It's not really like that old, but and I said this when I first played through Heavy Rain with my friends. I was like, why don't they do Silent Hill like this? It's so cinematic, And I know it's not Silent Hill, but the series really hasn't gone very far recently, so it's not
just say the good Silent Hill games done in the style, because then
maybe
classics,
and I love the old good Silent Hill games, but what I'm thinking is more as a revival. Do it in that Heavy Rain. What's the other game that came out this year? Beyond Two Souls style of choose your own adventure, very cinematic, very scripted, but there's multiple branching paths, and it can turn out a really good story. And I love those games. So maybe since Silent Hill's kind of falling off and it's hard to recapture the magic doing the same thing over and over again, maybe do something like that. And I don't know. That's just something that I thought of. Not really the exact question, but
the first Mass Effect remade with Mass Effect 3's gameplay. No, I'm serious about that.
No, yeah. It would help
because that's like the one thing I don't like about the first Mass Effect is that I like the way the third one plays better than the first one.
I think a lot of games could benefit from that. I know I hated the first Uncharted game. I like the other two, but the first Uncharted game is such a slog to play through. It's like, I wish it was more like this. And they really, you can tell when a game improves on something, and it's like, but then sometimes you wish they could go back and fix the original.
Gosh, I'm having a hard time thinking of a good answer for this. I thought I had something before the show went live tonight, but maybe I kind of want to say, I don't know, my mind goes towards I really want to see a Gradius revival done, and I think I'd like to see it in the style of like a modern twin stick shooter, maybe something like Resogun, like really pretty like that. But I think I just really want a new Gradius game, honestly. This is what I want. So otherwise, maybe a rad racer game, cheesy 3D and all, done in the style of Burnout. How about that? It'll be fun. All right, let's go back into some other news. Huh?
Actually, something just occurred to me.
Yeah, go for it.
We were watching some Inside Sim Racing, which is a video cast that Dan likes to watch. Was doing a review of, I think the game's called MX2. It's a motocross game. But they mentioned something about wanting customizable tracks, and I was just thinking, wouldn't doing Excite Bike in the style of MX2 be cool? Because that actually was a really neat looking game. Just saying.
Bobby Blackwolf in our chat room at live.vognetwork.com says rock band in the style of Flappy Vogue. All right, let's get back into some news. Let's see. I mentioned earlier in the show that there was some interesting things going on with Square Enix and Sony and that whole thing. So news broke earlier this week that Sony announced they're going to be selling off their stake in video game company Square Enix. You may not have known this, but Sony was actually an investor in Square Enix since the early 2000s, around the time they got Final Fantasy VII to come out on the... Actually, it would have been more around 9 probably was coming out around that time. But Sony was once an investor in Square Enix. They owned 8.2% of the company. So they sold off 9.5 million shares valued at $156 million, leaving a $47 million profit. However, we won't really know what this boils down to until the end of May. Now, don't think that this is because Sony's like mad at Square Enix or something like that. Like, it's not necessarily that. This definitely seems to be a, basically financial.
It's business, not
business.
Personal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, really. They're saying that basically Sony's been streamlining their operations. For example, Sony got rid of the Vio computers. They laid off employees. They restructured the TV business. They shut down some of their buildings, including the old headquarters in Tokyo. And the New York City Tower as well. So Sony, even though the PlayStation is doing very well for Sony, they're really struggling in some other areas. So this is kind of part of how they balance the books, basically. So that's what's going on. Now, no clue what this means for Square Enix, but hopefully they'll be able to, since it is a traded company, those shares will get picked up somewhere else. We'll see. So, an interesting move. Sony and Square Enix back around that same time would have been partners in that whole Play Online thing. So they were kind of, they were close buddies for a long time, but now who knows what this will cause for the future. Dar Sakura, what do you got for us?
I have some stuff. Basically, given that we were talking about Silent Hill earlier, this is pretty good to mention, is that Silent Hill Origins and Shattered Memories are both going to the Vita, and that's soon, according to Konami, but they will be £7.99. No, I don't really see what the word is for how it would be in U.S. and Japan. So, also, I accidentally closed the thing, trying to make it visible.
I don't think it was just Silent Hill Origins. I want to say Shattered
It was
Memories.
Shattered Memories
I
as
did
well.
say Shattered Memories.
Oh, sorry.
Rob, that's what you get for not paying attention to me.
That's
So
what I
now
get
we
for
can make this
multitasking.
the poo on Rob.
He had to open his
segment.
beer.
Yeah, I know, right? There really wasn't a whole lot else just talking about the history of those games. That Silent Hill Origins was a PSP game from 2007, and Silent Hill Shattered Memories was PSP, PS2, and Wii, which was a little different.
I played that game on the Wii, and it was... The problem I had with that game was, and I don't know if you can do this, but the nunchuck is corded, right? I don't know if they have wireless nunchucks, but there's an element of that game where if a monster...
Well, the move is wireless nunchucks.
No, I'm just talking about the actual Wii.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones I ever used were wired nunchucks. So there's a part where the enemies have to grab onto you, and you have to shake the controller. And I kept whipping myself in the face with the cord between the nunchuck and the Wiimote. And I'm just like, get it off of me. You just shake it off when the monsters get on you, and you zap you, and you just keep whacking yourself in the face with this stupid cord. That game was... It could have been so much better. I don't know. The worst part about it was when you're exploring the world in that game, nothing bad can happen to you. So it kind of takes away that terror element. It's creepy and everything, and it's got the atmosphere, but the fact that you're completely safe at all times you're exploring is just weird.
Yeah.
It's like you're used to, like, you walk around the corner and there's like a dog or there's like a monster or something that can just start getting you, and you're trapped and you don't have any weapons or anything. But in this game, it's just like, these are exploring parts. Nothing's going to hurt you. And these are the monster parts. You just run. And if something gets on you, you shake your controller and whip yourself in the face. And that's all it was. But
So Silent Hill for 5-year-olds?
Yeah, it really wasn't. The thing is that the monster running parts were so hard, I had to have my friend Nathan do it. It's like, you do it. I can't. I get lost. And if you slow down for a second, you just get overwhelmed and you die and just start over. But there's only there's only a few of those segments really in the game that are... There's like 3 really hard ones. The rest of them are pretty easy. So it's more of an experience than, a straight up game. I don't know how that would translate on the Vita. Like, you shake your Vita around? I don't understand. But I never played... Apparently, there's a PS2 version, so I don't know. On that one, I doubt you can't shake the controller around, obviously. So maybe you just mash a button. I don't know.
Jiggle the analog sticks.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Would you be interested at all in checking out either of these games on the Vita?
I never played Origins, so I would be interested in playing that one. I do have it on PS2, but I don't feel like hooking it up. So for $8, and maybe it'll be cheaper someday. Maybe I'll get that one. I always wait out for the PS Plus deals, so there's a chance I could get it really cheap. I would probably get that one.
That works. All right, well, moving on to a story about the Xbox One. The Xbox One got a bit of an update this week. They had an update roll out to the Xbox One consoles that include quite a few things, including improved game DVR video quality, Blu-ray player supporting 50 HZ video output where applicable, controller and headset firmware updates to help improve static issues, Connect voice and motion improvements, which some people have been bitching about on the Xbox One, so that's good. Friends improvements. When favorites and friends sign into Xbox Live, you'll get notifications. I had no idea this wasn't already on the One. It's on all the systems that are out there today. That was interesting. And then game app and saves progress bar updates. So you'll actually get a progress bar that shows you how far along your game is in saving, so you don't think the whole thing's locked up and shut it off prematurely or something like that. So that should be already out there on the Xbox Ones. If not, you should probably connect your system to the internet and let the magic happen so you get all those fancy new updates. All right, we're going to open up our mailbag. Every week, we invite you guys to participate with our show by emailing us. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com. Dark Soccer is going to dive into the email bag and pick out a few emails that she believes are worthy of sharing on tonight's show.
Well, we had 4 emails, which I am actually waiting to load now that for some reason I keep getting disconnected.
Your tablet is being very unruly tonight.
It is, but there was one that SSJ100 Matt sent us that we've actually already covered.
Uh-oh.
And that was about the DDR marathon and Notch's contribution towards it. But it's definitely good that you wanted to let us know about it. So
we should spread gamers doing good. We should spread the good news with that. So I kind of knew that would come in from some of our listeners that have been with us a very long time when we were music exclusive. Hey, that's one of the downsides about getting into the late 30s. I could never do a marathon like that anymore. I need a marathon where I can be seated and play the games. I can't dance for 16 hours straight, so more props to you.
It's just hold on, because this keeps logging me out of the email.
Uh-oh.
So I'm very, very irritated right now.
That's not good. Well, that's the joys and adventures of doing live radio. Because, again, we do tape live on Sunday nights. And those of you guys that listen to us through the podcast feed, you should try to join us sometime. I mean, I know Game of Thrones is on and all, but you can pirate it later like everybody else does.
That's what Netflix is for.
Yeah, well, actually,
right,
Game of Thrones ain't on Netflix. You have to HBO special. They do their own app. But anyway, we've got mail.
Hey guys, this show is awesome. You make boring data entry so much more exciting for me here at work. I heard you need more emails, so I'm going for it. I just started playing Torchlight 2, and it's my very first top-down RPG experience. I started co-op with a buddy at the hardest difficulty. I seem to die every 5 minutes. Any tips? Start on easy and practice.
Yeah, honestly, you answered your own question. You got to tone it down and practice and then work your way up to that. I don't remember with Torchlight 2 either if it's like Diablo. The thing in Diablo, you start on the easiest difficulty, get gear, and then you can amp up the difficulty to get better drops. And then once you get into like Torment, which is the hardest difficulty, you get like the best drops in the game. So you do have to work your way up. I can't remember in Torchlight. I have played Torchlight and I like Torchlight 2 an awful lot. I can't remember if it was that similar thing where you can take that character and move them through different difficulty levels. I don't recall. But if you can, I would suggest doing that for sure. But I think you actually answered your own question. If you really want to otherwise, like you're all gung-ho about, nope, we're going to do this in the hardest difficulty from the outset, then you got to be prepared to die a lot. Mm-hmm. But I would say know when to go in and retreat. And especially in those types of games, I find that if you get just a little too close, like you're running too fast, you'll pull a whole pack of mobs at once. So I would say move slowly. Take it slowly.
I still say go start easier so that you can learn the mechanics.
Yeah.
While you have an opportunity to use said mechanics.
Well, that would be my first answer as well. But if for whatever reason you guys are like, nope, we're going to do this the hardest way and get our achievements, and that's what we're going to do, then that would be my strategy, is make sure you're moving slowly so you don't pull a whole screen of mobs at once.
Right. Also, I really prayed that Titanfall would be the Call of Duty killer, but at least on PC, the active player count has gone way down to the point where a couple playlists are completely empty. I think it's because the game is too difficult for Call of Duty newbies who can't take their shooter skills vertical. What do you guys think? I think I don't like either game, so...
I'm more interested in Titanfall than Call of Duty for sure. Just, I like more of the sci-fi stuff, and, that's why I was into Mass Effect and so forth. But I haven't really played it on PC. My assumption is that the player base is probably dwindling because a lot of attention gets diverted in other directions on PC, and especially with the cost of the game being a little high, you probably really only have the diehards in there right now. I would imagine as soon as the game gets discounted, which is going to be a little bit because EA doesn't always discount right away, but once the game does get discounted, you'll probably see a lot more people jumping on board with that real quick.
Yeah.
Just give it a little time. It's probably a game that's going to build slowly. And I think a lot of people, on the Xbox One, that was the big game for the month. So you're going to have people that kind of last a little longer, the pool of players on there, because there's not a bunch of other stuff on the Xbox One competing for attention right now.
Have a wonderful Sunday and keep gaming, guys. That's from EA Skeezy.
Thank you, EA Skeezy.
Next up.
Good luck typing. Because they said data entry was their thing.
I don't have any idea what prompted this discussion topic, but what major video game characters / enemies come to mind whose primary attack is self-destructing? I was thinking of Dan Hibiki because his version of the Shingoku Satsu takes him down to like 1 bar of life. The 4 most obvious ones to me would be the creepers in Minecraft, the bombs from Mario Brothers 2, and the Pokemon Voltorb and its evolution Electrode, and possibly the Prinnies from Disgaea. And that's from Robert M. Optional PS. I heard Weird Al's Your Horoscope for today and checked to see if there was an AMV style video redundant for a certain webcomic, which of course there is. That Homestuck.
Yeah, I got that reference from the shirt talk you were talking about later. Thank you for the email. What a random question, but you hit all the big ones. I would have thought of the Prinnies from Disgaea too, but one that you didn't name, since we've been on a Final Fantasy kick tonight, there's always some type of bomb. Yeah, there's a bomb mob, grenade, or whatever they call it in the game, and their big attack is exploding, so you have to kill them before they explode and kill you. It's almost always in a Final Fantasy game. There's one of those.
Doesn't one of the weapons kill itself if you can't kill it in 7? Or was that something else I'm thinking of?
I think so, but it's been forever.
It's like some enemy
7.
will... Pyramid Head. If you don't beat... Well, when you beat the Red Pyramid, it actually turns and lands on... He lands on his knife.
That's right.
So not that it's an attack that's self-destructing, but that you don't get to be the one to get the kill hit, really.
Flacco Jones, you a big fan of any self-destructing mobs in video games?
I hate self-destructing mobs in video games.
Very random question.
Me and PvP?
Chrono Trigger has those ones that they give you tons of XP and everything, but you have to kill them before they self-destruct. There's those like rock things when you're up on the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
for me, that's like a race. Like I gotta get the XP because they're so good for farming on. But if they blow up ahead of time, you don't get anything.
Me and Spelunky, I self-destruct myself all the time in that frustrating ass game. That's for sure. All right.
Little Big Planet, you can blow yourself up. They just did that to work around people getting stuck on their terribly designed levels.
But the first one I thought of was Dan in Street Fighter, because he has the screen goes black, everything, and he's like almost he does die if you don't have a full life bar. So, and then it does like 2 bars on the enemy or something like that.
Well, that was a random ass question, but you know what? I like random questions, so thanks.
This is the random show. Last email then. Greetings, OLR. Since you have been light on emails lately, I figured I'd send one that I've been batting around for a while. This has to do with a dream I once had as a child. At the time, the dream had tormented me due to its promises, and I'm wondering nowadays if I was really onto something ahead of its time. Run the clock back to mid-1991, with the SNES American release quickly approaching. Having finally discovered the true glory of RPGs, I was positively salivating over the Nintendo Power coverage of the incredible-looking Final Fantasy II, which was 4 over there. For the upcoming powerhouse of a system, the game was consuming my every waking moment until it finally snaked its way into my dreams. Now, I didn't actually dream about the game itself per se, but rather I dreamed about the act of owning it. You see, in my dream, not only did I own the cartridge for the game, I would transform it to fit whatever system I tried to put it on. Game Boy or SNES. Much like the cross-save functionality of Sony's products today, I was carrying this game with me and playing it constantly. At the time, the dream just left me frustrated and impatient, and I can't help but feel like decades ago I foreshadowed the way I'm currently playing Final Fantasy X and X-2. So, all our crew, have you ever had any particular memorable dreams involving gaming, whether it be about a game itself or just the act of gaming? My most sincere apologies to everyone if I tap into a hidden well of nocturnal subconscious Mass Effect /fiction. Keep up the great work, and thanks for the hours of entertainment. Sincerely, Awesome Unicorn.
A dream involving video games.
I know, I had one. Actually, I can tell you right now.
Okay.
This is how I figured out how to play DDR properly. Is because I kept doing the step back to the middle thing that everybody does when they're new. And then I just I went to bed, and then I started dreaming about moving from arrow to arrow. And then I got up and played the game fine the next day. I went from doing 3-star or 3-foot songs to going right into, 6s with no problem. So it was just a sort of an occurred to me kind of thing.
I don't really remember dreams. I'm one of those people, some people can't remember their dream, which is funny because we were talking about my memory issues earlier in the show. But for real, once in a great while, I'll have a dream that I remember, but it's so rare, and nothing I can think of that involves video games, actually. Sorry.
I do almost always remember at least something of what I've dreamt the night before. And I'm a lucid dreamer.
No, not me.
So
a lot of wow, that's one ththing that always crept into my dreams. It's because you stop playing, but the game is so I don't know, monotonous, I guess, in a way. I would go to sleep and I would just imagine I'm still grinding on something or still
you have to go kill 10 chickens in your sleep.
I'm killing I'm still doing all this. It really is like that. It's weird, but it's not a bad dream. It's hey, cool, I'm still questing while I'm sleeping, and it's fun. My wife has them too. She tells me all the time. She's like, "Oh, I just dreamed I was riding my mount through the barrens, and that's just something that happened." At least in the dreams, there's no Barons chat. At least not for me.
I did kind of have a dream about WoW one time. Do you remember after this was when we were still on Blade's Edge, and I was playing as Rebecca Black when I finally decided to level her.
Yes.
And the one guy was following me around, making up his own lyrics to Friday. I dreamt about that last night. That I was playing through a 16-bit version of WoW, with that being the background music.
That's awesome.
With me playing on Rebecca Black. It was pretty funny.
Wow. What made you want to roll a character named Rebecca Black in the first place?
I was bored, and I was going to make a tank, and so I couldn't think of a name, so I just made Rebecca Black.
Did you roll the character on Friday?
I don't know.
However, you have to remember those details. They're important.
Everybody's going to ask you
I used the dorky human female with the long black hair.
So the only human female model.
Well, yeah, but she had the one with the long black hair and everything.
Okay.
And I actually got her to 85.
Wow.
And I had one person drop out of a Headless Horseman pug because, and our healer, mind you, I ain't healing Rebecca Black.
And oh hell no drop.
Well, next week I'll know to ask you. I'll say, "Hey, Dark Sakura, how was your gaming week?" And you'll say something like,
Actually, you know what's funny? I super like Saturday.
"Oh, the sequel song that she did."
It's actually really good.
Song?
Yeah.
It's actually she's actually learned how to sing.
But it's not technically her, is it? It's
her
and somebody else. Well, no,
it's her and some other guy, but she's
some other guy
her.
on this one.
It's mostly her.
I like Conan's version of Thursday. That's my favorite parody.
Let me see if I can get a little clip of Saturday here for Flacco Jones. And if you're pissed that I'm playing this, blame Flacco Jones.
Don't play it. No, you can't blame me.
lyrics are actually kind of funny. I mean, the
lyrics
main
are
part.
for Friday or funny. She says, "We so excited, we so
Well, look,
excited."
she wrote in the sand. So excited.
Oh my gosh!
Really, she spends the whole.
So she made a parody video.
Pretty much. And like my favorite side is of the guy who's singing it with her. She's like calling, "Oh my God, come over!" You know, completely messing up. And he's like, "Sure, as soon as I find my pants." It was really funny. I thought it was.
Bobby Blackwolf is cursing out Flacco Jones in our chat room and revoking all of his loot.
Why do you put this on me? I said don't play it.
I actually do. Saturday is sort of like my guilty pleasure song now. I hated Friday because I can't stand auto-tune out of tune.
Okay.
Saturday is actually a good song.
Everybody has a guilty pleasure song.
Well, if I'm already having all my loot revoked, then just play Chinese food.
No.
Is that your favorite? Is that your guilty pleasure song, the Chinese food song?
It is now. Take down the network.
My favorite guilty pleasure song is 212 by Asriela Banks. But anyway, just listen to it on your own time.
Confusion.
All right.
Rob, I have to have Pinkberry tonight.
It's Easter Sunday. They're probably closed.
So we'll break in.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Gamer Girl. I agree.
What?
Says, oh my, Rebecca Black actually has a voice.
Well, she was only like 13 when that Friday thing. That's why I couldn't like some.
She's actually done more music since then. That's
some
been
of the things
decent.
that people said about her when that video was huge. I was like, she's like 13, right?
Did you know that they did a Rebecca Black reacts video to Friday?
Oh yeah.
And it's her reacting to it 2 years later.
My favorite was there was like it was either death metal or screamo version of Friday.
Funny.
And I'll still post that on people's Facebook to this day. Friday.
I'm not contributing
I
anymore
don't
to
know.
this conversation.
The best thing to come out of Friday was Gang Fight,
Yeah, the bad lip sync or whatever.
which I still have. Don't judge me. I still have it on my playlist.
All right. So somehow our emails on Dreams turned into a discussion on Rebecca Black. So thank you to the emailers.
Man, that's my fault too. I talked about WoW.
All right. Any other emails tonight, or is that it?
That was it. And I'm sorry, SSJ100 Matt. Your email was super long, and we already talked about it.
Aw.
But I still love you. I hope you're enjoying Passover.
All right, participate at orangeloungeradio.com if you'd like Dark Soccer to dismiss your email as well.
I didn't dismiss. I acknowledged it
I'm
right from the
kidding.
beginning. Oh my God, Rob! I can't believe that you. You know what? I can't.
has been twice
I
acknowledged.
can't.
Now thrice acknowledged.
This is me unable to can.
Uh-oh. She is unable to even right now.
I can't even.
It's happened.
It's not happened. It just. I just right now. Okay.
Dark Soccer is getting wound up, you guys. You know what that means.
Oh, this is bad. Here is justice. Here is punishment. This is fucked up.
It's the can't evens of the week. Dark Soccer.
Marissa's in chat. Hi, Marissa. We love you, Marissa.
Why aren't you here, Marissa? I can't.
I can't either. Fuck this thing that's suddenly appeared on the side of my face. It hurts.
I don't see it.
It's because I've been. It was because I'm. It's
Are they
'cause I've been-
flames?
No, that was Victoria already today.
Oh, I'm rehashing jokes.
On the side of my face. No,
Well,
I was gonna say, I've been eating nothing but crap, and my body feels like crap, and I miss the gym a whole lot. So just F you.
Jim's right here.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah, can I bench press you?
I don't know. I had, remember, 4 hot dogs and a hamburger and a pile of potato salad today. Probably not.
But I miss being more active like that, and how good I felt all the time. And so, and this weird gas. I tried to burp. It's like having to burp and can't burp. So I actually literally can't right now. Literally can't.
My FU of the week, since Dark Soccer brought her up, my FU of the week goes to Victoria. Because, of all the years I've been doing these shows and have known Victoria, I think she's only ever been on OLR once. And that was back when we were in the garage studio. It was way too long ago. Victoria, get your ass over to VOG.
Yeah.
She needs a Game of Thrones show on the network or something like that.
Should call it Chair of Swords.
Something. Game of Complaints. That's all you people will do to watch that show. You just complain a lot. All right. Or Game of Spoilers. Game of Spoilers for a 10-year-old book. Flacco Jones, your FUs of the week.
Since Loki's not here, I'll complain about bad drivers. Trying to get here today and I'm like stuck behind a slow-moving car, but it's like a Mercedes. Like, drive your car faster. If you have an expensive car, you can afford to get tickets, so drive faster. Of course, I finally pass him, and he's like drinking a soda and looking down at a phone. So of course it's like, all right, well at least he didn't kill anybody.
All right. There it is, your FUs of the week. Love it. All right, one more story for you guys, and then we're going to open up the Skype line because we want you to call in and be with our show. 1-877-GAME-OLR, or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. And the last story tonight has to go with a sale. And it's something you want to get now on sale because the game will no longer be available after April 30th. A moment of silence, Internet, for Burger Time World Tour. That's right, the modern envisioning to one of the greatest classic video games of all time, is no longer going to be a thing. And let's be real, the reimagining was kind of jank, but it was a great game back in the 80s, and you know we love these reimaginings of games. They remind us of the past a little bit. But anyhow, the game is on sale on Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and WiiWare for $4.99. Monkey Paw, who published the game, is having some expired licensing agreements for Peter Pepper and all his friends, because Monkey Paw Games didn't create Burger Time. They had to license it from somebody else. So Burger Time World Tour will be shut down by the Food and Drug Administration on April 30th. I guess you could say that this video game got assaulted.
I could see the pun coming from so far away.
Well, you weren't doing it.
I was face palming before you said it all the way.
That was a preemptive face palm tonight.
Yes. Oh, I love Burger Time.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? People that don't know their games. That's who. All right. 1-877-GAME-OLR, or a username on Skype is Orange Lounge Radio. You can give us a call right now, and we can talk about anything we've talked about on the show roll tonight so far, or maybe you have something else you want to bring up with us, or what have you. This is where I usually turn to Loki and go, hey, you have any last-minute news? But he's not here. Flacco, you have any last-minute news?
I wish I could drink more beer, but I have to drive home. I'm going to leave that last can for another day.
Yeah, so save it for a rainy day.
How do you like it, by the way? It's pretty hoppy. It's an interesting kind of flavor.
It's not as dark. Is it a hoppy brew? Is that where
it is? Very hoppy. Yeah, it's an IPA, India Pale Ale.
Oh,
so yeah, it's
nice.
hot, but it's got nice maltiness. It kind of offsets the bitterness.
Yeah, I like it. All right, hey, we've got a call coming
Beer
in.
talk.
We'll ask our caller if there's any last minute stories. Hi, on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
It's your residential favorite anime con Ranma.
Hey, Anime Con Horror Rama. Were you at WonderCon this weekend?
No, I was at SleepCon.
You know what? With all the cons you go to, I'm not surprised at all. You have to sit one out once in a while.
Yeah, because because after PAX East and Castle Point, we're gearing up for another con this week and then another one after that.
Oh God, what's this weekend?
Zenkai Con. It's a local con out in Philly, Lancaster County area. And after that is a con I think the entire OLR staff should go to, called Nauticon. It's a 21-plus convention in Provincetown, Massachusetts.
Oh.
I know what Otakon is.
This could be a fun convention.
No, Nauticons, not Otakon.
Oh, sure, okay.
All right, well, what's on your mind tonight, buddy?
Well, I want to talk about something a little bit different. Now, just out of curiosity, have you ever heard of Record Store Day?
Only this year.
Yeah.
I heard about it this year. I didn't know about it from years past, but apparently this is the 5th or 6th year. I think it's a similar thing to like Free Comic Book Day, right? Where they try to entice people to go, fuck iTunes and Amazon MP3 stores and all that, and go back to the roots of a retail music store, I believe is the concept behind it, right?
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know about it till late Friday night, till a couple of the nerdcore rappers I follow on Facebook linked me to a special album that was coming out as part of Record Store Day.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd like to play a quick track from it, because I think everybody here knows it.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
No.
Yeah, well, if you can't hear it, then my system sucks. Well, anyway.
Is that the Anamanaguchi song?
Oh, yep.
There we go. Yeah, I heard this, that there was something involved in the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack in them.
Yes, they put out
eBay.
on LP Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game.
That's awesome, though.
Great
but yeah,
soundtrack.
A lot of people are saying they missed out on it. Even Bobby in chat right now is saying they didn't allocate any of the video game releases to my local store. So,
yeah, because what happened was when I first heard about it, I pulled up the list and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do some side questing and find it. Because I got 4 requests on Facebook to find this. One person never got back to me. Another person found it in Ohio. And our friendly neighborhood Mexicans getting the other copy I was able to track down for him.
well, you can always buy it on eBay for like $50.
That's okay. I'm keeping my copy sealed. I went to like 3 different stores, called 2. Most of them all said we didn't get it, so I found a place called Turntable Lab that had it.
Huh. Well, congrats on your find.
Thank you. I kind of wish I did have a turntable, but to be perfectly honest, I'm going to keep this sealed just for sentimental value, because when we have kids, when we pull this out, they're going to be like, what is that? And then we'll have to sit there and explain to them, back in the day, before it was digital music, before it was CDs,
Right.
you had cassettes, LPs, and if we go back a little bit further, 8-track.
Bobby Blackwolf says they only made like 2,000 of them, and there were 1,200 stores participating in Record Store Day, so that's why they were kind of hard to find. I would show, if you're going to talk to your grandkids about records, show them those pictures of like a record player and the needle in the record at like 1,000 magnified, because it's really cool what those things look like close up like that.
That sounds like a great idea.
It's like an old episode of 321 Contact or something like that. Well, that's cool.
I missed that show.
I'm glad you were able to get out there on Record Store Day. Anything else to share with listeners tonight?
Let's see. Well, besides the fact that Dr. Luigi and Finn Mario were a smash hit at PAX East, I can't think of anything else.
Are you getting to see some of those pictures as they go up on the internet from PAX East?
Yeah, me and Mako are in a couple of videos that are floating around at PAX I shared on my Facebook page, and I have to get my photos up as well.
Very cool. Ooh, excuse me. Very cool. I'm glad to hear you guys had a good time at PAX East. I really need to get it back out there for one of the PAXs. Obviously, my feathers were a little ruffled at some of the comments that they'd made, and just how fast that shit sells out. And I'm usually working during the day when those tickets go on sale, so I'm gonna have to be a little more on it in the future. So,
well, do what I do. If you got friends I got friends I have room with every year. It's like we sit there and plan. One person handles the credit cards and the badges. Then I handle the credit cards and the hotel room, because whoever has the best internet can handle, and we just delegate like that and we get shit done.
Well, I am hoping to do something like that, at least for Dragon Con. I've kind of got something like that running, and who knows? I'm hoping to get out properly to the, I would say the East Coast, but Atlanta's really East Coast to me. So to the Northeast Coast soon, because it's been forever since I've been to NYC. It's been forever.
Yes, you need to come and hang out for a weekend, have a good time with the New York OL Army.
I will make it a point to do so soon. And if nothing else, the motivation of Neil Patrick Harris as Hedwig is huge motivation.
Friend of mine saw that yesterday and got his autograph.
Well, consider me a jealous bitch. All right.
Oh, Rob, what are we going to do with you?
What the same thing you've done with me for 12 years. All right, Rob, I'm going to let you go get more calls.
That's illegal in 38 states.
Not this one. All right.
Hey-yo.
Bye, Rama.
Bye.
That's illegal in 38 states, but I thought the Supreme Court. Never mind. All right, 1-877-GAME-OLR, or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. Give us a call, and we'll talk about whatever you'd like.
And I must apologize. I have lost my connection to the chat room.
What? Unacceptable.
I know.
Just kidding. All right, we do have more calls coming in, so let's get to it. Hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's that? Who's this?
Hello.
Is this Marissa?
Yes, it is.
Marissa, how you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you? I have nothing relevant or on topic to talk about, but I'm sure that we'll have a giggle fest anyway, right?
Who gives a shit? It's Orange Lounge Radio. We don't have to talk. We'll talk about whatever we want.
Damn it, yeah. One of these days, I will come up there and we'll do a series of episodes, and then we'll like syndicate it, and we'll be Rob and Marissa's giggle time.
I have a computer good enough to do YouTubes now. We can look at doing something like that. It'll be fun.
Well, you were talking about cons earlier. It's funny. WonderCon has been going on down here.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been able to sneak my way in. I didn't get a ticket at the last second.
Dope.
And then a friend offered me one at the last second, which would require me driving 2-3 hours, But by the time I got there, the ticket would have been useless. But
Dope.
it was just funny. Anyway, everyone that went there had a wonderful time, and they had a great voice actor panel. And, that's my shtick. But everyone has been saying good things about it.
Yeah, did WonderCon happen on two coasts at the same time or something? Because I know there were people going to LA, but I had some friends in the Northeast that were going to something too. So I guess there was like a bi-coastal con or something going on.
Sweetheart, I live in Los Angeles. There's other parts of the world. No.
Typical Los Angeles.
No, I'm kidding. I hadn't heard about that, but I was hearing the feedback, and people were having a great time.
Yeah.
It's funny though. I wasn't able to go, and I was talking to Jamie about this. Might be able to appreciate it since you were talking about booze earlier as well. Since I can connect anything randomly, I didn't get to go that, but I got to go to my friend, my longtime friend since elementary school. She had a birthday party in the Hollywood Hills. We're getting all glam up in this shit, and there were some actually people involved in the gaming and whatnot, but it overlooked the entire hall, and I'm not used to getting into this type of glam stuff, I'm like, well, I didn't make it to WonderCon, but at least this is fascinating. I can see all of LA and this beautiful house with the tower. And early on in the evening, though, I decided to try rum.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big drinker, so, I just, I say stupid shit without any assistance, so... But here's the thing, okay? So in my disappointment not being able to make it to WonderCon, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to get more social. I learned that rum makes me want to nap. I motherfucking power napped that bitch, okay? You want to talk about stars and celebrity and shit and all the magic of Los Angeles? Yeah, I napped in every room of that house. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
That's what I would do. I used to be infamous at parties for drinking some Malibu and whatever and then falling asleep under the table. That's just how we roll.
Yeah, exactly. I just geek out at a party. Like, I can't even do that normally. It's like, yeah. It's like, friends, like, how'd you have that big glamorous time? Like, oh, honey, the couch upstairs. Perfect.
Looking at our chat room. Looking at our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. Fifth Dream in chat says, her voice reminds me of someone a lot, but I can't think of who. An anime character, maybe.
Oh, I do that sometimes. Oh, I don't know, Yuki-chan.
I love it when you slip into the voices. It's great.
The funny thing was that I studied this intently and I love it. But the first time I ever did anything with regard to anime, I was kind of nervous in the class and I wasn't sure what to do. So I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do the anime career, like the stereotype. And I fully expected to be scolded, but I was just having a drop the mic moment. I was like, just fuck this. I'm nervous. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to do that. And I fully expected them to just drop their pens, and go, this is very serious business. And there is so much more to this. And you can't just stereotype. This is an art. But I went up there and I'm like, the last bite of the popsicle. And I just did a round of applause. Like, yes, bravo. Shock the hell out of me.
That's such an LA story.
I was so expecting to be reamed about the art and everything. But all you had to do was this. And brilliant. Yes, Oscar. It's like,
Really? Okay. Fuck it, where's my check?
When in doubt, stereotypes.
Although there were two people in that room
pissing off everyone in that.
Marissa, I can't wait for the day that, I find some Yuri video online and you're one of the voices.
I would love that, but until then, everything probably for me, it seems it's going to be like 900girls.com. That's like what it's going to be until now for me.
When I'm having that not so fresh feeling.
That's what happened. I tried to record like a professional sounding answering machine for myself, and you know how much like cell phone reception sucks.
Yeah.
But I just recorded it, like bam, done. I didn't listen to it, but the message I found out later sounded like, "Hi, this is Marissa. I can't come to the phone right now, but I'd sure love to hear from you." And then my doctor leaves me a message one day, calling to say like, "Oh, you're healthy from your physical and everything." And she's, "Marissa, what a suggestive sounding answering machine you have." Which made sense looking back at the types of messages I received.
Marissa, you need to do a stand-up comedy show where you just talk about your life, and that is a compliment. I'm not like saying like, Marissa, you a crazy hoe. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like you're really funny when you tell these stories.
Fucking nuts! You gotta put this shit on tape. No, I love you, Rob. I can't.
Marissa, I love you too. Thanks for calling into the show. I don't give a fuck that it had nothing to do with games. It's always good to hear from you. All right.
Well, it's always great to talk to you guys too. Miss Jamie, my love. Mwah.
Mwah.
Ooh, getting a little Yuri action going on right now. All right.
Oh, Rob, little did you know.
Is I consistently hear that interestingly enough, voice actors talk about video games being the most challenging. I found that really interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
apparently it doesn't pay as well either, but they're trying to work on that in the union.
But
well, aren't you normally like in a booth by yourself instead of around with other people?
Well, only American animation is traditionally when you work with other people, which is considered like the height and the best, the best art. But with video games, they rush to push it out so much, and you are often separated from the other actors, and sometimes they give you little context, and then you have to do all the various efforts. It's very hard on actors' vocal cords as well, too.
I bet, with all the voice that goes into it. You've got offers in our chat room, by the way, over at live.vognetwork.com. Bonds006 says, "I need Marissa to make a voicemail for my cell now."
Who said that?
Bonds006.
Oh, Bonds006, hi. He's the sexiest guy ever. You have to leave him an answering machine message as soon as possible. Get back to him, yes.
Now, hold on. You got to charge listeners for this. We got to fund Vog somehow. Pay $10, get sexy Marissa talk. All right. Marissa, I got to let you go so we can try to squeeze in one more call, but thank you so much, Marissa.
A great night, you guys.
I love you. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, God. Always great to hear from her. Here's the thing, though. I know Marissa's a big fan of the Thief series of video games. So seeing as that new Thief just came out, she probably didn't want to talk about it. She probably didn't want to talk about it. Based on what I've heard about that, she probably didn't want to talk about that, actually. So I don't think that was a topic under discussion. So we get voicemail messages instead. I don't mind whatsoever. All right. Now, people in chat.
Now me.
Yeah, okay, now me. I love it. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to go to the Twitter while we wait for some more calls over at 1-877-GAME-OLR or a username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio. Bonds006 says, "I'll lose my job with that." Let's see. Dark Tetsuya tweeted us saying, "I found an interesting homebrew MSX game this week. It's called Blue Warrior. It's a scrolling shooter with an amazing soundtrack." We'll have to check that out. I like homebrew games for old systems. Like, I love it when people make Atari 2600 games. It's like, why? Because.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly. Let's see. The Blue Guy tweeted us and said, PlayStation 4 still outsold Xbox One in March, even though with Titanfall. Yeah, that was news that was getting a bit of steam this week. And if I'm not mistaken, haven't they sold worldwide? Haven't they sold more Wii U's than Xbox Ones? I mean, granted, Wii U has had a year up on it.
Yeah, but they're already almost tied, and like you said, they've had a year head start.
That's true. But
nothing to brag about.
There's that cynical side of me that's like, well, when's EA going to stop making games for Xbox One then? If that's little bastards. That's that's not. I'm not trying to shade Nintendo. I'm trying to shade everybody that abandoned shipped. But in all seriousness, it's the price difference, straight up. Everybody's been saying this till they're blue in the face, and it's true. Like, they're charging the extra money for Kinect. Nobody understands why Kinect is needed. I mean, I'm sure there's the Xbox loyalists. There's probably some Xbox fans out there screaming at me on their podcast right now, like, you don't understand. But it's like, no, most people don't give a shit.
Well,
like,
but shouldn't all that really matters in the end be the money? If they're selling it for a higher price, they've probably made almost as much money as Sony has, right?
That's true. But there's
$100 more. They've sold, what we say, 2 or 3 million fewer units, but that $100 for those millions of units adds up quick and can equal a lot of Sony sales, I would think. I don't know.
There's that fuzzy math, too, where Xbox sold to stores, but Sony sold through to homes.
I read that too.
There's a bit of a difference between the numbers that are being reported, but I don't think it's doom and gloom for Microsoft because a lot of systems have a slow first quarter. Sony's just in a good position. This is where Final Fantasy XIV worked out well for them. Sitting on Infamous Second Son and Drive Club are going to help them get through the year and some of those. So I think this is where that's paying off for them a little bit. I would say if we're at the holiday season and Xbox is still struggling, then we've got a story. But for right now, a lot can still happen. Microsoft could come out in E3 and announce a price reduction.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're doing poorly. They, like you said, they've already sold, or like even if you say to stores, they've still gotten close to Wii U in very smaller amount of time.
Exactly. But I don't want to also dump on Wii U is dead and all that because Mario Kart 8 is a big deal and Smash Brothers is going to be huge too.
I've got a Wii U now. Of course, I didn't really help them out because I bought a used one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think a lot of this other stuff is news that we covered earlier in the show, but if you want to tweet us sometime, twitter.com/OLR. I'll put out one more call for calls if you want to give us a call, 1-877-GAME-OLR, or our username on Skype is orangeloungeradio. Let's see. Bonds006 says, my brother-in-law came over today to help me upgrade my iMac, and he also asked why I don't have an Xbox One, and my reply was, I won't buy it at the current price. Akuma JP says, Xbox is dead to me, though. Yeah, but you live in Japan. Xbox was always dead over there. Like, did they ever sell a lot of 360s? I mean, you think the Wii U sells bad here? Check the 360 sales in Japan, okay? And then, the one's not even out there yet. So, I'd be curious, though, if they are going to make a big push in Japan. That's what the rumors are. Xbox One is supposed to be making a big push in Japan when they launch in the holiday. So you would expect to see at E3, what is that big Japanese-based game exclusive going to be that they have in their back pocket? Is it Shenmue 3? No, it's probably not. Because even though that's the game that most people want on Xbox, Sega's in bed with Nintendo right now. Seems to be where, which is so weird, being the 80s gamer. But Sega and Nintendo are besties, so I would expect any exclusives like that would be on Wii U. So, but anything's possible. Anything's possible, certainly. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess nobody else is going to call in. Well, it is a bit of a slower night just because, it's a holiday and stuff and people are doing their dinners and things like that. But if you are listening to the show after the fact and you want to send us something to talk about on a future show, you can always send us an email. Participate at orangeloungeradio.com is our email address. And that's another great way you can participate with the show. Or you can send us a tweet or anything else like that. Anyhow, it's about time we get around to wrapping up the show and going around and closing out shop for the night. Flacco, thank you so much for being here tonight, especially on short notice. And
I guess I gave you the short notice.
That's okay.
I got back home and like, hey, I wonder. I haven't even finished last week's OLR because, like I said, I've had the week off. I haven't really been commuting or going to work and listening. So I've just been, hanging out with the family and going to San Francisco, having fun times there. So but I heard pretty much right to where I got to is like, oh, we don't have anybody next week. I'm like, I wonder if they ever found someone. So sent you a message.
No, I was totally planning. Oh, it'll just be Jamie and I will just do a quick hour-long
Yeah.
show. No. Worked
3-hour show. Let's go.
That would be and me, not and I. Object.
I don't even care. All right. You know what? I don't butcher grammar as bad as MTV. All right. Anyway, Flacco, thank you for being here. You are always welcome. You didn't break the show tonight.
I didn't. Well, I did with the Rebecca Black stuff. Apparently,
You did do that. That was all you and not Chad at all or Jamie or anything.
It's all me.
All you, 100%. But you're always welcome here, and you did a great job tonight.
Cool. I loved being here, and I like the new place. It's awesome.
Me too.
Hello.
That's why I live here. I know it is still a little echoey in here, but we're working on it. All right, your final thought tonight for us, please.
Oh, my final thought. My beer is good. I've sweated it all out. I'm good to go.
All right. I want to thank you guys for listening to the show. And remember, if you do like Orange Lounge Radio, all we ask is tell a friend or two about the show. You know, word of mouth is all we have. Even if you can't think of anybody to tell right off the top of your head, please leave us a nice review on Stitcher or iTunes or any place that you may have found this show, because those kind reviews go a long way in helping for exposure. My final thought for tonight, and then I'll go over to Jamie. My final thought tonight is I can't wait. For the first time in my life, I can't wait to edit tonight's show. Because, you know, I try to edit the show, which I don't really edit it. I don't edit it for content. I just crop it, clean it up, and save. I can't wait to edit tonight's show on the new computer. Because usually, like, saving the YouTube file alone, because YouTube is encoded at a different quality. It's 9644 for YouTube. That file alone will take me 10 minutes to save. And I'm thinking on the new computer, maybe only a couple. I'm so excited to try. I'm going to be a time saver. Yeah, money well spent. Because my time is valuable, damn it. That's my final thought tonight. My time is valuable, damn it. Dark Sakura, once again, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you for the game.
You're welcome. Enjoy it. Play it this week. I want a full report next week.
Okay.
All right. And your final thought tonight, Dark Sakura.
I'm actually hungry, and if Adalberto's is open, I'm getting a burrito, and then tomorrow, back on track. And I'm going to actually be visible with what I'm doing at the gym and do a regular reports. I'm actually making my own N7 challenge.
Are you going to do gym selfies?
No, I'm not doing gym selfies. I'm going to actually, unless they're me sweating and red and sore after having deadlifted 110 pounds.
I have a friend on Facebook that does gym selfies, and that's the way he says, if you don't see me take a gym selfie today, that means I didn't go, so I need to get yelled at. So that's like his whole little, like, he needs Facebook to police him. So.
Well, I'm gonna tell everybody I have a Tumblr called Dieting Can Bite Me. My picture is King Hippo. And you're gonna, and you're gonna see activity on there, and I'm making it public on the show because I need to put things where people are going to see it for the purpose of accountability. But it's dietingcanbiteme.tumblr.com. And I'm going to make this a thing.
All right.
And I'm going to try to, maybe I will be playing Bravely Default as my reward for gym time.
There you go. You can play it at the gym.
No, I can't because I don't do hamster wheel stuff.
Oh.
I lift heavy weights.
Fine.
Well,
I like hamster wheel stuff.
Yeah, but all that does is build up your endurances. It doesn't actually make you stronger.
If I can lose fat doing it, it's something I need to be doing.
Weights are better for that.
We'll see. All right. That's it, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning into the show, and we'll see you again next week. Next week, I guess kind of a big number next week. I don't know. Like, you hit your 10th episode, your 50th episode, your 100th episode, your 500th episode, and then it's like, well, what else? I guess there's always episode 1,000, but... Can you believe we'll be in our 50s when we hit episode 1000? But tomorrow is tomorrow. What the hell is wrong with you, Rob Roberts? Next week we will be hitting episode 550. So that's an episode of, or that's a multiple of 50.
We need to actually celebrate episode 555 because we're just a little bit less than evil.
I think you know what's funny is that I think we joked like way back in the day. We were like at episode 200. We're like, we're gonna hit episode 666 in like 2016, and we always joked, oh, we'll never get that far. And now I'm like, we might actually get to episode 666 at this rate we're going. So we'll see.
See, I think that we should never stop.
That's the hope. It has to end someday, but
no, never.
I don't.
We're gonna be dead. and our voices will be digitized, and we'll be GLaDOS.
Hello, my name is Rob Roberts. Welcome to another episode. They'll just be Marissa impersonating me.
There you go. That's how you keep it going.
I'm Rob Roberts, and welcome to another week of Orange Lounge Radio.
You have reached a new episode of Orange Lounge Radio. Before we release the deadly neurotoxin.
All right. That's it. No, we're really closing up shop. We're done. We're out of here. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or Vog Network, but you know they were all still true. See you next week.